That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? We are live in Chula Vista on this spectacular Thursday afternoon. Schaefer and Sliwa getting you ready for Mexico's match. You can hear it tonight on 760. Pre-match coverage is going to be
Viva Mexico.
Here's what we have done to get the show started.
Oh, this is good.
Between the time that we parked our cars in the garage, and we have a great show lined up, by the way. Darren's going to join us, Darren Smith. Darnay Tripp from NBC7 is on the show. Who else is on the show today?
Adrian is going to join us.
Garcia Marquez is joining us in 30 minutes. The voice of SDFC.
2:30 is going to join us.
So we have a lot going on, but we got down here an hour ago. It's a terrific scene. Almost everyone wearing the Mexico team jersey in some combination. In fact, we got involved in it. We picked up
you said
Mexico
to me,
jersey as well.
I think you said, where'd you grow up? I said Guadalajara, and you said, oh, great. I grew up in Monterrey. That's what you said, Monterrey, Mexico. And I said, why don't we go get a jersey here real quick?
Here's the thing. Mexico is playing tonight on 760. We're in Chula Vista. There's going to be thousands of people rooting on Team Mexico. We wanted to get involved in the celebration. Mexico trying to start 2-0, playing South Korea later on tonight. We were out in Little Italy last week for Team USA. That was a terrific atmosphere. This is going to be something entirely unique even to that. There's going to be thousands and thousands of people. Festivals going on right now. You can watch the game on the big screens. It's going to be a great afternoon.
Look at us just bouncing around. I mean, last week we're all in for the United States. Today we're like, hey, let's go Mexico. Tomorrow, back to the U.S. I might even be rooting for Canada here in the next few minutes or so. No, it's going to be fun. This is going to be great. You can hear the music in the background. You can hear, I'm sure for those who either already down here or going to be coming down, this is actually one of the coolest events I've been a part of in San Diego. This is awesome.
This is probably, like, when it comes to the World Cup, something like today on 3rd Street in Chula Vista is what it's all about. Yeah. You got this event in North America. You've got this border town. We're just miles, obviously, from Mexico. You've got matches being played in this country and in Mexico. We're actually going to be in Monterrey literally tomorrow. And in 2 days, we're going to go see a World Cup match. So this is festive. This is fun. I think this is what the World Cup is really all about. It's bringing people together, communities together. And I think it's more of that. It's more of a celebration here this afternoon than anything else. That's what it feels like to me.
And this is one of the more foundational locations of SD. So this is cool to kind of see I love the combination. You got so many Mexico jerseys, and then you got these Padre hats, or you got SDFC gear as well. I saw someone with an SDFC like that. That's what you're looking for. This is a great way to represent San Diego and obviously Mexico today. This is going to be an awesome game.
I wonder, Alan, as we're
what do you wonder? Tell me, John.
Here's what I wonder.
What do you wonder?
A week into the tournament, who feels better about their national team's chances after one match? Is it Team Mexico winning at Azteca 2-0 in their opener? Somewhat convincing, although the U.S., I think, was one of the most impressive teams in their opener when they beat Paraguay 4-1.
I can answer that question.
Who feels more confidently about their chances to make a run once we get into the knockout stage?
Isn't it funny? This is such a cop-out answer, but in 24 hours, we're going to kind of know. We're going to know a lot about both of these countries. USA plays tomorrow, Australia, and the game is at noon.
It is
by
noon
the time,
Pacific.
By the time we're on a flight, they're going to be playing. Who feels more confident? Listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm a soccer expert, but I thought USA was so freaking good in their opening game. It's one of the first times I've seen the United States play, and there was some swagger to the United States. You don't have swagger with soccer if you're playing an international play. So I thought that part was incredible. I'm not surprised or shocked at all that USA feels as good as anybody, at least between the two countries.
I feel as if when you win your opening match in a World Cup, all of a sudden it opens up a world of possibilities. I think Mexico is expected to win their opener, obviously, at Azteca against who they play, South Africa. U.S. was a little more up in the air, but I feel like once you win your opener, I mean, there's only 3 matches in the group stage. I feel like it opens up a world of possibilities. Obviously, for Team USA, they're never leaving home soil. Now, Mexico at some point would have to come to the U.S. I think it might be in the round of 8 if they're able to advance that far. But hey, listen, these nations, I think, based on what played out last week, are probably optimistic that both of them could make a run. Don't you feel as if both national teams' fan bases feel as if their team could make a run this summer in the 2026 World Cup?
I don't know the definition of a run for Mexico.
What do you think?
But I'll give you the definition of a run for the United States. You win your group. Like now all of a sudden you got.
I like that.
Like you got some real skin in the game.
Right.
You got expectations. I mean, for them to play their one game last Friday and everyone to walk away with kind of a different attitude about the U.S., like I think that meant a lot. So if you win your group, again, I'll just say this from a USA perspective. If you win your group, I think other countries are looking at you maybe a little bit differently, and that momentum can be there. And something that Darren said, which we'll connect with in the 5 o'clock hour, but what was it? A week ago, 2 weeks ago, Darren had mentioned something. Once you can get people here in the States to turn their head and say, hey, do you know what's coming up tomorrow at noon? What is it? It's USA versus Australia. Once this tournament continues to go and you could get more and more non-soccer fans that are casuals, people that are just here for the World Cup and then they're out after the World Cup is done, then I think you feel like the United States is accomplishing something. It's different for every country. Obviously, other countries, it's like, hey, you better get into the final 8. You better get you got a legitimate shot to win this thing. That's obviously not the goal. That's not the expectations from the United States.
I do wonder if it changes if they do win the groups, though. Like, I don't think this is that bold of a take. I think Mexico is going to win Group A.
Okay.
I think they'll win today. I think they'll have 6 points. I think they'll go through as the champion of the group eventually. I think USA is going to win their group. And then if that does come to fruition, they're both favored to do it now, being 1-0, playing on home soil. If that does happen.
And the goal differential. I mean, there was a lot of things that went.
All those positives. Yeah. If that does happen, are we going to be content with just, they made the round of 32. It was a good tournament, or are you going to hope for more? I think for Team Mexico, they're clearly looking for more than that.
Here's what I would say. I would say that as you have more success, your expectations change. Like the Padres a month ago, I had completely different expectations than I have today. Well, they had early success, so my expectations for them changed a little bit.
Right.
The where I sit today with the Padres is similar from before the season started. I'm like, just getting the wild card.
Right.
There's expectations that change based on your either success or lack of success. So the United States, if they win their group, then you're right. I think expectations are going to be, all right, you can't just make it to the round of 32 and then you're out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did we have this on the wrap yesterday against Schaefer and Sliwa? We're starting early. We're in Chula Vista. Come down here. Great watch party all afternoon.
2 to 5:30 today,
for the matches. Then you can hear the match tonight, Mexico pre-match coverage beginning at 5:30. Did we mention yesterday in the wrap about expectations for the Padres, how they compare to Team USA? I forget what the question was yesterday. You put it in, I think.
Yeah, we said who do you have more confidence in? Do you have more confidence in Team USA or do you have more confidence in the Padres?
And what did we both say?
I said Team USA.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well. I mean, even that's just how I feel. To your point, it's how you start. And I think the conversation maybe is different a month ago.
Yeah.
And when you're 20-9, which is where the Padres were at one point, or 19-9, it's a different conversation. But yeah, I'm with you right now because it just feels like from a Padres perspective, you're treading water. You're standing still. From a Team USA perspective, it's like sky's the limit. It's the beginning of a tournament. You started fast. So I would agree that it feels like Team USA has a higher ceiling right now than our local baseball team.
Yeah,
but things can change. But here's the thing.
You're right. Things can change because they were different a month ago. You're 100% right.
And what if the U.S. doesn't play well tomorrow? But this is going to be an unbelievable atmosphere here today. It's getting me excited for our weekend. We're going to Monterey. We're going to fly out from TJ tomorrow. We're going to go see a match on Saturday night in Monterey.
This is all so random, brother.
I'm
not taking off this jersey until we get back.
You're going to wear it for
I'm waiting until Monday.
Days.
The moment I cross back over the border on Sunday, I'm not taking anything. This is it. What I have here is
You're not going to bring a bag?
Not bringing anything.
How about this? I get so Alan's telling me yesterday, I think it was after the show, you're like, I might need a bag because I've been kind of living out of a bag, so to speak,
right?
Commuting. Like, I might need a bag. I'm like, I got a bag if you need it. He texted me this morning. He's like, yo, he's like, can I take you up on the bag offer? I brought down like a rolling bag, a traveling rolling bag for Alan.
And then what did I tell you? I was like, this isn't nice enough.
You're like, this isn't like, what is this?
I need high end.
Well, it's
very high end.
It's fairly not high end.
Yeah.
But you got your bag.
Got my bag. Yeah, we're ready to go.
I'm ready for it. All right. So here's the deal with today's show. Adrian Garcia Marquez, great soccer voice. He calls matches for SDFC. He'll be joining us live at 2:30. We also have you covered with Darnay Tripp from NBC7 on the Padres and, of course, the World Cup as well. He'll join us at 5, and Darren Smith will join us coming up at 5:15.
Hopefully, internet on YouTube's going okay. So hopefully,
I think so. I haven't seen anything to tell us otherwise so far.
Well, and it better go okay, because I think by the time our broadcast is done, I'm going to be down $300 on my hotspot. So let's just, let's make sure this works.
I appreciate you letting me borrow the hotspot. Whatever it takes to put a broadcast on.
How do you not have a hotspot? Doesn't it come with your phone?
No, mine it doesn't. I have like the discounted plan, to be honest with you.
So what's like?
It's just like a phone.
But I thought everyone basically gets a hotspot.
Did I show it to you? It's like you do not have a hotspot. It specifically tells me when you click on the hotspot button, like you do not have access to a hotspot. You are not paying enough for it.
Is it one of the like phones you break after you're done using it?
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right, I do want to get into the Padres. We want to get into the Padres on the other side. The latest reporting as it relates to the trade deadline, and would the Padres go into their system for a short-term rental or not? There's the latest there on that reporting that we'll share with you on the other side. Plus, Adrian Garcia Marquez will join us live at 2:30 as we get ready for Team Mexico tonight against South Korea, broadcasting live from Chula Vista on Schaefer and Sliwa. San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, live performances by the Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, Lainey Wilson, Snoop Dogg, Weezer, and more. September 18th and 19th. So just a heads up here. September 18th is sold out at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. So get your tickets quick because Saturday is about to sell out too. Now's your chance to buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out.
All right, shout out. We're down here in Chula Vista at Memorial Park. Watch parties underway. We just saw Switzerland with a big win over Bosnia. As expected, right?
Well, I don't know. You had Bosnia. I remember
Bosnia.
You called me yesterday late. It was midnight. You said Slee.
I was like, I'm going to put a.
I think I got Bosnia.
Put a G on Bosnia.
Yes.
We've got Canada playing this afternoon. You can watch it down here. And then, of course, what everyone's down here for by and large would be Mexico playing South Korea tonight at 6 p.m. You can listen to the match right here, by the way, on San Diego Sports 760. Pre-match coverage will begin at 5:30 p.m. Remember yesterday Kevin Acey was on the show, our Padres insider. And he kind of countered a point that Jeff Passan made. We played the sound from Jeff Passan that said, would the Padres consider moving some of their young talent in their system for a rental, specifically talking about a pitcher like Tarek Skubal?
Yep.
Kevin, I mean, not to put it in his own words, but he basically scoffed at that idea. The idea that the Padres would, in fact, move someone like Ethan Salas or one of their top 2 or 3 prospects for a player that isn't under control beyond 2026.
And important for him to do it because I think there is a little bit. Look, when you were gone, John, 3 straight days, I played something from Buster Olney, Jeff Passan, Ken Rosenthal, and everybody's tying Tarek Skubal to the Padres. And I think for him to basically say, yeah, that's idiotic to give up.
For what he said, right?
To an extent, right? Yeah. And I think that, like you said, it was the most vocal of like, why would they give up on a rental? And also, this is not a team that's screaming you're one rental away from now competing with the big boys out there.
What if they were playing like that? What if their hot stretch they started the season with continued and they were 15 games over 500?
Okay, are they the Brewers?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly right. They're having this really fast start. All of a sudden, you think it's going to be one of those magical years. Are you still willing to mortgage the future for a chance to just go grab it right now if it means giving up someone like Ethan Salas if you can win it right now?
I think it's a conversation to be had. Like if we're having a legitimate conversation, hey, there are 3 teams we think that could come out of the NL.
And they're one of them.
It's the Padres, it's the Braves, and it's the Dodgers. Just making it all up, right? And you're having a legitimate conversation. You're getting closer to that trade deadline, and you've had some head-to-head matchups against the Braves. You've had some head-to-head matchups against the Dodgers, and you're like, hey, I think this team might be able to hang.
Right.
Let's have the conversation. But we're so far from that conversation, it's difficult to really like to try to make up something that I don't think is realistic.
Yeah, I agree, because when I read ESPN, for example, what Jeff Passan wrote yesterday, he said every single contending team is a fit for Tarek Skubal, but he said more realistically, it's the Dodgers, it's the Yankees, it's the Braves, it's the Brewers, and the Blue Jays and the Rays. What those teams have in common, by and large, is they're not 3 games over 500. I mean, a number of them are 15-plus games over 500.
Yeah, and I think there's some of those teams in there that would be the rich getting richer. What do they care? Like the goal is to win a World Series. And like you said yesterday, I think that was an interesting point. If you're the Yankees, are you trying to get him because, hey, now he's in our doors and now it's going to be easier for us to try to give him a long-term deal here because he's an unrestricted free agent after this year. If you're the Dodgers, probably taking a similar approach. If you're the Padres, I mean, you've given up the farm already. Like the Padres are the definition of giving up the farm. And that has not got you to a World Series. At least those teams that you've had in the past, you felt like there was some opportunity. There was some real momentum. I'm not investing unless this team over the next 30 days shows that they're worth the investment. I'm not spending a lot on this team from what I've seen so far. They could change that in the next 30 days, but let's also be smart about it.
Okay, when you say be smart about it, and I agree with you, by the way, I think it would be foolish to go trade away some of your future for right now if this team is, in fact, not one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the National League. But that doesn't mean we're saying sell off parts if they remain as is, right? If they just are treading along, 4 games over, 6th seed in the National League, I mean, that's where they are right now. So just fast forward a month, there's an all-star break in there. It's only 30 games. Fast forward 30 or 35 games or 4 games over 500. You want to see them sell off pieces, or you want to see them modestly invest in what they have right now?
I get to the wild card. I get that. and there's a way to try to get to the wild card. What's up, fellas? There's a way to try to get to the wild card without mortgaging your entire future. So,
I agree.
So, and listen, Annie had said this a couple times. Annie Houston, who's part of the of UT San Diego, had said something to the effect of like the dream. They're not going to give up on their dream. Okay, that's fine. I get it. I understand it. I think there is a part of this where you got a lot of Padre fans like, hey, if you start going 4, 5, 6 games below 500, you think Petco Park's going to be sold out for these final couple months of the year? I don't think it's going to be sold out. So I think there's a piece of this where it's like, hey, can you invest enough to give yourself a shot at getting to the wild card, and then whatever happens from there? And even if that's a 3 and out, like you and I have talked about, but it's tough for me to sit here and tell you if you play any poker and you got a 8 and a 7 and it's and there's
6 other people that haven't folded.
Yeah, it's like, that's not the time to say, well, I'm going all in. I'm being aggressive because I'm going to bluff.
Do they owe it at all to their fan base, though? As they sent out the release yesterday, they've surpassed 3 million tickets sold. They're averaging over 40,000 fans per game. I think they're second in terms of attendance to capacity this year, maybe first in Major League Baseball. If this is the team they are, and they're flawed, and they're not a finished product, they're still going to draw 3 million people. I'm with you. If they go 10 games under 500, not every single night's going to have 45,000 people there, but they've consistently drawn 40,000 plus fans per game. Do they not owe their fan base the good old college try to put this thing over the finish line this year?
Let me tell you who owes something to the fan base. Manny Machado owes something to the fan base. Xander Bogaerts owes something to the fan base. Tatis owes something to the fan base. Jackson Merrill owes something to the fan base. Michael King owes something to the fan base. Brother, let me take King out of the picture, and Tatis is obviously playing better. I mean, AJ Preller, it's not like I'm not telling you he's perfect, but it's not like AJ Preller hasn't put big names together to just be in the mix here. If Manny Machado is not having the worst season of his career, maybe they are more aggressive to try to go get schoolball. I'm going to go back to, he had a quote, and I remember this was last year, before last year's trade deadline. I remember listening to AJ Preller say something to the effect of, I don't determine what we do at the deadline, the team does. Is that Preller's fault if he's not overly aggressive, if there's a team out there that's not accomplishing what he thought they would accomplish?
No, but I don't
Fermin's been bad. I know Cronenworth's been out, but Cronenworth, when he was bad. Go down the list of all these players that have just not played good baseball.
But I don't think he is fully not capable of some of the blame for the way the team has performed. Like, the more I think about it, I think the fan base feels the same way.
Okay, name me off some players.
Well, I'll give you a ton of examples. I mean, these extensions have not fared well.
But not yet.
They haven't fared well.
But not yet. Look, this is the problem with, if I told you Manny, how many years ago did Manny sign that extension?
3.
Okay. If I told you Manny signed a 5-year deal and not a 10-year, he has 10 years left, are you going to blame AJ Preller for Manny Machado being this bad at age 33?
Well, not this bad, but there is evidence to suggest 33-year-old players aren't as good at 33 as they were at 27.
He's got the worst batting average in all of baseball.
Yeah, no, obviously a lot of that's on Manny Machado, but there's a lot of contracts in here that could be seen as poor decisions. I mean, Jake Cronenworth's contract is not aging well. Joe Musgrove's contract's not aging well.
You're 1,000% right. But I'm going to go back to the point that I'm trying to make. We're supposed to be mad at AJ Preller giving Manny Machado an extension that's going to keep him here for another 7+ years. But we're supposed to be mad at that in 2 or 3 years, not today.
Yes, Manny should not be playing this poorly, but there were reasons to believe that the Xander Bogaerts deal, whether you want to put it on Preller or elsewhere, was probably bad even in real time, giving a 30-year-old an 11-year deal. Even then, he was already on the downside.
Awful contract. You're not wrong. Awful contract. But again, I'm going to go back. These guys that are here are supposed to be bad later on. They're not supposed to be bad this early into their contract. That's the only point I'm making. Nobody's looking at Machado's contract and saying, you know what, this is phenomenal. Go try to put Machado on the trade market. Who's going to come try to get him? Go try to put Xander on the trade market. Nobody's going to want him.
I just don't see AJ as someone that's without blame, considering the way the team is performing. He put it together.
I by no means am trying to pretend like AJ Preller, it's his team. Like, of course, you always work your way to the top, and AJ Preller's got his fingerprints all over this. My point is Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts and some of these guys, you're supposed to be bad in a couple years, not this early into your contract. That, in my opinion, you got to put a lot of the blame on those players there.
That's fair. Even though these players, even right now, are not young. All right, Adrian Garcia Marquez on the other side as Mexico gets ready for South Korea. We're broadcasting live from Memorial Park in Chula Vista. Stay with us on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by eBay. The Padres are off today. They start a weekend series against the Rangers starting tomorrow. World Cup, we got a couple finals from earlier. South Africa and Chechnya had a 1-1 tie, and then Switzerland defeated Bosnia 4-1. Coming up tonight right here on San Diego Sports 760, beginning at 5:30, you can hear Mexico's match against South Korea. Like I said, pre-match coverage will begin at 5:30. eBay is home to millions of finds, and each one becomes part of your story. From your favorite vintage band tee to the dream car you've been searching for, or that foul ball you heroically gave away. It's all there on eBay. eBay, things people love.
All right, Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 Memorial Park on this gorgeous Thursday afternoon here in Chula Vista. Team Mexico against South Korea tonight at 6 p.m. We're broadcasting until 5:30. You can hear the match right here on 760 with pre-match coverage beginning at 5:30. And we've got Adrian Garcia Marquez with us, the voice of SDFC, great soccer voice in general, with us right now on the home of SDFC, San Diego Sports 760.
What's up, Adrian?
Hope all is well, man. Thanks for hopping on.
Hey, no, glad to be on with you guys. Hola, man. Great afternoon and ready to rock. I know you guys are getting ready for the Mexico game later on. It's going to be absolute fire. We're looking forward to it.
So what did you think of Mexico, their performance against South Africa in the opener at Azteca, and what are your expectations here tonight against South Korea?
You know what? We wanted more. I think we could have gotten more goals. Mexico could have provided a little bit more, but I think that's just, everybody's expectations. You want Mexico to come out of the gate just the way the United States men's national team did, and no mercy, right? So I think they did show mercy on a couple of occasions. They could have done better, but a win is a win. They look good. They look strong. Julian Quiñones looked like absolutely on fire and on point. That's why he led the Saudi League in goals. I'm looking forward to seeing what Mexico does today, keeping in mind that South Korea and Mexico had a little dance back in around September, so got to call that game, and it was an absolute fire match. It ended up 2-2 with Sonny coming in late to get that equalizer, and we are expecting the same thing, right? It's going to be absolute, just a festive atmosphere in Guadalajara with the fan base with South Korea and Mexico, but the game itself is going to be a very fun match to follow and watch.
All right, Adrian, you got a much better pulse of this, but I don't know if I can compare it. If I look at Team USA and I'm like, all right, what's the pressure on Team USA? Okay, there's pressure. I'm not saying that there isn't, but it feels like with Mexico and their players, it's a whole nother level. What is, you just kind of, again, like I said, have a pulse for it. What is that for some of these players? Like how this, it feels like for a lot of these countries, this is everything. I mean, we're down here in Chula Vista, and I mean, this environment, this atmosphere is incredible. What's it like for some of these players to have really the entire country, the pressure on their back?
Well, starting with Mexico being that it's their 18th appearance, right? So tradition is that the Mexican fan base that follow A3 expect the team to advance in every World Cup. The disappointment, they've done it in 3 out of the last 4. So the pressure's on Mexico because of the expectations to maintain the tradition of being one of the better sides when the World Cup hits. And, you're always getting into, that octavos de final, if you will, but then there's always that weird situation that'll come up out of nowhere. Back in '86 against Germany, a penalty kick, and then the no fue penal situation there with the Netherlands and Brazil. And it just keeps kind of, snowballing for the Mexican national team fan, waiting for that advancement into late stages, right? Cuartos de final, if not the final semifinal. Can they get there? I don't know. Do they have the talent? Maybe on paper, they're not as talented as France or some of these other teams, but Mexico can make a nice run because the expectations are high. With the U.S. men's national team, the pressure is on because this is different than the Mexican national team. Nobody was calling them the golden generation. The U.S. men's national team had that tag. They got to live up to it. All of their guys that are playing in Europe, they pretty much reminded us, told us for the last 5, even 10 years throughout this project and the development that this team was going to be an absolute force to reckon with, maybe come within 10 years by 2026. Here we are. Now it's time to show it. And they did show it right out of the gate with that impressive win. And it was a dominant win nonetheless. Mexico could have dominated that game against South Africa, but today the matchup against South Korea is going to be way more of a test. And keep in mind, guys, whoever wins literally gets the ticket, punch to the Willy Wonka, chocolate factory. You move on to the next round, and that's what you want, right? You want to advance. And, there's going to be a couple of scenarios, obviously, at play in tonight's game and what's going on with the Mexican national team and South Korea, but both sides, are looking for the win. If they draw, things look good for both sides. But, for example, Mexico, to win Group A, South Africa has to win or draw against Czechia. And Korea, to win Group A, they need a win today. And then Czechia needs to beat South Africa or draw against them. So already, it's already starting, guys, the phasing out of the teams that are going to be contenders and the ones that are just happy to be part of the atmosphere.
Good insight from Adrian Garcia Marquez. Again, he calls matches for SDFC. He's with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. So we've touched a little bit on Team Mexico and Team USA. From the American perspective, do the expectations change for you, considering how impressive they were in that win over Paraguay?
You know what? No, because the expectations were already high. They need to show it, and they did. And I think that, to their credit, right, they've handled the pressure quite well. They've responded. And they showed up. Pochettino has a master plan. We saw it at work. And now it's just about the player, the individual. And you saw it, with Gio coming in and dropping in that, the Trivela. It just goes to show you that all you need is a spark of confidence, and then you go on a run. And if it happens for a player, it happens for a team. I think the United States have that kind of a flow going where they have the right mentality. The vibes are good. The team is united. You could see the way that they're playing, that it's all coming together at the right time. Now, tomorrow, you're going to be in that Soundgarden it's just going to be absolutely beautiful there in Seattle. And you're facing Australia. Australia is a very tough side. They play, you generally see them be more defensive-minded. Sometimes you see them more roll with the 5 at the back and then kind of push forward and then pounce on your mistakes. But make no mistake, they are going to make life difficult on you because I was talking to some friends earlier. They have the knife between their teeth at all times. Australia is not going to bow down. Australia is going to make it a dogfight, and this is where we're going to see the personality of the U.S. men's national team. But it's time to show it. It's time to prove it, and here's your stage.
Adrian Garcia Marquez joining us here, Schaefer and Sliwa Show, of course, one of the voices of SDFC. Adrian, your thoughts on just the rest of the World Cup, getting a chance to see some of the John and I mentioned it a couple days ago, to see Messi have a hat trick, to see Mbappe a couple hours before that have a couple of goals. Just what are some of the things that has stood out to you so far, and just your thoughts on the rest of the World Cup?
It's first Norway, guys. Keep an eye on Norway. I look at that squad. You guys remember Conan the Barbarian? Remember that music? Dun, 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 dun. It just seems like, man, they are coming. They're thundering. Their fans are on fire. And that team is going to be a force to reckon with. You mentioned Messi, and you look at Messi and what Argentina are doing and what we saw out of Portugal yesterday. There's more of a connection getting Messi and Messi getting his guys involved. There was a disconnect with Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo playing the 9, a position not natural for him. So you could see that superstars, the two guys, the references in this World Cup, playing in their 6 along with Memo Ochoa, with the focus being on Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi in this case. Messi already stepped up early. Ronaldo, there's work to do with Portugal, but I think Portugal's still going to be one of those teams that we're going to be talking about in the end. In fact, the Simpsons predicted Mexico-Portugal would be the 2026 World Cup final.
Let's go. That's amazing.
So I don't mess with the Simpsons predictions, but you see Norway, you see Messi with what he's doing, not a surprise. But I think Norway, Netherlands, and obviously France, right? And I love how France just stepped it up in the second half, turned it up a notch, letting the world know they are definitely here to defend it all.
Adrian Garcia Marquez with us right now in Schaefer and Sliwa. All right, I'm asking you to make a prediction. Do you think either Team USA or Team Mexico makes it to the quarterfinal round?
I think, you know what? I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say both are going to make it to the quarterfinal. Wow. How about that?
Love it.
For example, for Mexico, it's about adjustments already, right? So Cesar Montes gets that red card. So now Edson Alvarez is going to probably be playing at center back alongside Johan. And then you have Eric Lira and the emergence guys of players. We've seen it with San Diego FC when a guy steps up and emerges and helps you just get to that next level. That's what Eric Lira has done for the Mexican national team. So now you could leave him in the engine room. You could Edson Alvarez back. Maybe we sneak in Gil Mora into the midfield today. A lot more shiftiness, creativity, and clarity from the middle of the field, pushing it forward to Raul Jimenez, who's got 46 goals and counting. And obviously with Julian Quiñones and the level that he's been playing at, Mexico's going to be a force to reckon with. They're going to put it all together. But today is the true test. How they react, how they play against South Korea is going to tell us a lot. And tomorrow, the U.S. men's national team can really send the message by dominating Australia as well.
Adrian, do you like the new format, 48 countries? What have you made of the format so far?
You know what? I'm okay with the format. I'm okay with countries getting opportunities. It is the World Cup. It's every 4 years. So, yes, the more the merrier. But there's one adjustment I would like to see in the future maybe. And it would be like if your country has won a World Cup, right, you should automatically be birthed into the World Cup. I just think like a World Cup, it's kind of remember the outsiders, right? A rumble ain't a rumble if it's a rumble without me, where Dallas Winston comes in at the end. I don't think a rumble is a rumble, a World Cup without Italy, guys, and countries like that, Denmark. You know, I obviously Denmark hasn't, but I just like to see Italy, the teams, if anything, just give them that place in history that if you've conquered a World Cup, you're an automatic berth to all of them.
Adrian, great stuff. We are looking forward to tonight. We're excited to hear you back on the call, of course, for SDFC when the quote-unquote second half gets underway in a few weeks as well.
Does he know we're going to Monterrey,
Yeah, we're
Mexico?
going. By the way, we're going. Any tips for us? We're literally going to Monterrey tomorrow. From Tijuana. We're going to see Japan and Tunisia just randomly
to us,
Saturday
Adrian.
night. Is there anything we need to know about it?
So you're going to Monterrey itself?
We are.
Yes.
We are tomorrow.
Oh, okay. First and foremost, you're going to get to see, people think it's AI. It's not. El Cerro de la Silla. You've seen the mountain right behind the
Incredible.
stadium. One of the most beautiful backdrops in all of sports. So the vibe itself, guys, El Norte Caliente, you guys are going to have a great time.
Let's
Just
go.
roll up with everybody. You see somebody with a Monterrey jersey, say, hey, man, I'm from San Diego. Show me the way. Take me to the beef. Take me to the carne and the cold cerveza, papa. And they'll take care of you from there. Trust me, Monterrey are good people. Monterrey are good people.
We'll play
man,
that audio.
Adrian.
We'll play that audio
You
for
are the
people
man.
we meet in Monterey. Adrian, great catching up with you. Enjoy the matches this weekend, and thanks for doing it.
All right, guys. Anytime. All the best.
How good is that? Adrian Garcia
phenomenal.
Marquez, voice of SDFC.
Talk another 30 minutes with it. That's great.
We could
That's
spend
great.
the next 3 hours.
That's interesting, right? You get World Cup winners, have them as a kind of guarantee to get in.
Yeah, that's right. I want USA in every time moving forward after we win it this year. All right, what have the Lakers promised to Luka Doncic moving forward? The latest from ESPN on the other side, plus Darren Smith will join us later during a trip as well. Stay with us. We're here until 5:30 in Chula Vista on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, San Diego Sports 760, your home for live coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Everybody, of course, knows that. Get daily match updates from the opening match to the final, July 19th. Your live play-by-play, the most anticipated games, and every USA match. 2026 World Cup coverage lives on San Diego Sports 760. And, of course, Mexico tonight. Coverage starts at 5:30 right after we're done.
We are at Memorial Park in Chula Vista, 3rd Avenue, broadcasting live until 5:30. Those watch parties are underway at this hour.
Yeah.
And again, of course, everyone is here for Team Mexico coming up later. Now,
as we are, look at us.
I know we got our Team Mexico jerseys on here today. We are in the spirit today for Mexico, of course, tomorrow for Team USA. But yeah, I mean, we're enjoying the atmosphere.
You walked into the booth. There's a booth to the left of us here that will customize jerseys and everything else. And I think your exact words were, cost doesn't mean anything. The price doesn't matter. And you just walked out with a wad of cash. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. And I spent all $30.
No cash.
I spent all $30 on this replica.
No cash here.
Team Mexico jersey. All right. So Adrian Garcia Marquez had the interesting concept of when you expand the World Cup from 32 to 48, allow the nations that have been previous World Cup winners automatic entry into future World Cups. And that then led me down the path of, well, who has won the World Cup in the history of this event?
Yep.
Going back to 1930, and it's not that many nations.
A lot of repeats, right?
I mean, you got about 6 or 7 nations.
Brazil and France and Italy and Argentina. Exactly. Like, you're going to go down the list.
Won it twice.
Wow.
But the only winner
Germany,
that's not currently in the event is the Italians. So I think the only and they've won it multiple times.
Yeah.
So Italy's won it multiple times. They're not in it. What do you make of
Here's
what he said?
Here's my only issue I have with that. My only issue. It's like, you want to earn your way in. So let's just say hypothetically. Now, if you told me that there's certain regions of the world that should have more teams in, I'm in. Like, I get that. Like
more European nations?
Yeah, let's think of the areas that are more dominant when it comes to – it's almost like – you know what it kind of reminds me of? It's like you can only take so many SEC and Big Ten schools.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a little bit of that, right? But as you expand, then you're assuming more Big Ten and SEC schools are going to get in. So I get the concept of that, but maybe then the only team that he's talking about is Italy then, right? Because Italy is the one. I'm sure there's
now,
another.
I guess. But I guess in the future there could be a scenario where somebody misses out of the World Cup.
But for the most part, doesn't it sound like 95%? If you won a World Cup, you're probably in the World Cup 95% of the time.
Probably true. Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you prefer that the host nations gain automatic entry or the teams that have previously won it gain automatic entry? Because
probably host nation.
The way it's set up now, the host nations have automatic entry.
Yeah, I'd rather have a host nation get in.
The only thing that's changed. Now, if this was still 32 and you had 3 nations hosting, you'd be taking away, like, quote-unquote,
huge
spots.
Sure,
you'd be taking away more. But because you went from 32 to 48, you've only added spots.
I love the 48. I think what it's doing for us, and I think it just kind of adds this element.
I like it, too.
I love that you just, from morning to night, you got games. I mean, we're going to the game, the Monterrey-Mexico game, as we've mentioned 88 times. The game we're going to doesn't start out here until 9 p.m.
Right.
10 p.m. out in Monterrey, Mexico. So it's like, if you're a fan or even a casual, you are watching these games or you have it on in the background or whatever the case is.
Do you know where the 2030 World Cup is?
2030, no idea.
It is
Where is
the first tournament to span 3 continents, primarily co-hosted by Morocco, Portugal, and Spain.
Phenomenal.
But to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of the first World Cup, unique opening matches will also be held in Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay. That's 6 nations.
God.
So all 6 of those, I guess, are automatically in. But to your point, they'd be in anyway. It's
most
Spain,
of these, you're
Portugal,
not,
it's Paraguay.
They're not small countries that don't have, obviously a soccer background.
Do you like that? Like, this is literally, they're going to conduct the World Cup on 3 continents.
It's amazing.
In 4 years. They're going to just host it everywhere. I think it's neat. I think it's really neat.
I think it's great.
Yeah. I think
by the way, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, maybe I could be wrong in this. Do you ever see? I'll give you an example. Do you think an NFL draft will ever end up in a city that doesn't have an NFL team?
No, unless it's London.
Okay. Do you think a Super Bowl would ever end up like?
No, unless it's London.
But
I think.
But wait, why not an NFL draft? What if you just picked? Let me just give you an example. And this isn't. I know that's the San Diego part hurts, but let's just say they're like, hey, we just freaking want an unbelievable place to host this at, and they took over Coronado, or they took over. I'm just making something up here, right? Like, does it
the
have
32 markets? I'd be surprised because there's so many. It would take so long to get to Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Green Bay that by the time you do it, I just think with 30-something markets, you'd probably prefer to do it in an NFL market. I do think London's the most interesting case. Is London going to get Super Bowls? Will London get drafts? Will London ultimately get a team?
Right.
I think that's a conversation.
Without having a squad until you get a squad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, anyway, interesting conversation there with Adrian Garcia Marquez. Darren Smith will join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Darnay Tripp as well from NBC7 will join us at 5 p.m. On the other side, we will get to what ESPN is writing, Dave McMenamin, about the Lakers offseason and what the Lakers have promised Luka. We'll discuss that on the other side, live in Chula Vista until 5:30, getting ready for Team Mexico tonight. Stay with us on San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. The Padres are getting set for their weekend series in Texas against the Rangers that will start tomorrow night. We got a couple finals from the World Cup. South Africa and Chechnya tied at 1 apiece, and Switzerland defeated Bosnia 4-1. Coming up later today on San Diego Sports 760, beginning at 5:30, we'll have pre-match coverage of Mexico and South Korea. Father's Day sale at Lowe's. Shop the gear that will make his summer. Get 2 free select DeWalt power tools when you buy a select 5.8H battery kit for weekends in the garage. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
All right, hour 2 of Schaefer and Slay with San Diego Sports 760.
Let's go.
Live from Memorial Park, Chula Vista, 3rd Avenue. Spectacular Thursday afternoon. We are 3 hours out, Alan.
Yeah.
Team Mexico and South Korea, a match you can hear right here on 760, but make your way down. It's a festival-like atmosphere.
This is awesome.
As we get ready for this afternoon when Team Mexico plays.
How's it this busy 3 hours before the game
Well,
starts?
I think, it's that's a good point. It's a bit of like a kickoff of summer, right?
Yeah.
Summer at Chula Vista. You've got thousands of people in Mexico gear. I just think people
Such
are
a good
genuinely
vibe.
excited.
Oh.
I just think everyone's excited for tonight.
You know what probably helps too? I like Adrian Garcia Marquez was talking about how they could have poured it on and they didn't. And I think there's a little bit of, they still won. They win 3-1 in their first match. But there's a little bit of like.
Who? Team Mexico?
USA.
4-1. 4-1.
4-1?
Yeah, they scored at the death. They
Okay.
scored that last goal.
So they go 4-1.
Yep.
USA handles business too. I think part of the reason why it's like you get off to a good start, there's some momentum now from everybody. So everybody's just like, hey, no, I want to be here. By the way, whether you're a huge soccer fan or not, there's so many like family stuff to do. So this is a great way to kind of spend the afternoon.
To be clear, Mexico won 2-0. Team USA won
4-1.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And again, Team Mexico playing tonight, coming up at 6 p.m. Pre-match coverage on 760 at 5:30.
But I think what Adrian was saying is that Mexico could have poured it on more.
Yeah, he felt as if they
have.
should have, from a goal
Like
differential
the United
perspective,
States
could have
did.
used another goal or two in that win. All right, let's switch gears. We'll get back. We're talking Padres. We're talking World Cup. We're talking also about the NBA's offseason, which is now underway. There's an article at ESPN about the 5 biggest questions for the Lakers this offseason. It includes some quotes about what the Lakers have promised to Luka heading into 2027. So where do we stand here in terms of Luka's camp and LeBron's camp and what the Lakers need to do this offseason?
A lot of people camping in
a lot
LA,
of camping
in
LA, yeah.
All right, let me read this little piece here. That's a phenomenal. Look at that Tatis jersey.
Very nice jersey. That's cool jersey.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah, look at that jersey.
Look at
that. Look at you.
Love it.
Looking good, brother.
That's a nice
look at that
jersey.
Tatis. There we go.
The Tatis
there we
Mexican
go.
Themed jersey. Very cool.
There you
All
go.
right. Enjoy the match.
Thank you. McMenamin puts out an article, and there's a piece of this. I'm going to read it. It says, Luka wants to win a championship yesterday. This is a source close to Luka Doncic. Ever since the trade, listen to this. They've always told us, summer of 26. We'll show you in the summer of 26. So we are excited that the summer of 26 is here.
Here we are.
Lucas Camp is basically telling Dave McMenamin, what are we doing here? All you've really heard so far in this offseason, you're hearing about, well, where's LeBron going to go and how much is he going to get paid? And if LeBron's going to take less money than the max, then what are you going to go do with that money? All you've heard is Austin Reeves can make $241 million by re-signing with the Lakers. 5-year, $241. Listen, I'm not an NBA expert, but it doesn't sound like giving Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, that's your future backcourt. That watch out for the Lakers. Those are two guards that be making as much money as they're making. I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting report. I think they're promising him that they're going to make stuff happen. They do have flexibility. I believe it or not, I actually think there's going to be some big-time changes with the Lakers. I do think they're going to be aggressive. I do think they're going to trade their draft picks. I think they're going to try to be aggressive, and part of this is to make sure that Luka Doncic is happy.
I think it's interesting that if the Lakers are going to make big-time changes, it's interesting to me that one of the changes would not include LeBron James. Like, if the premise is we're gonna change the pieces around Luka, but we're also going to keep LeBron. It seems to be like not connected or like disconnected from each other. If you're going to make big time changes, wouldn't LeBron have to go to make a big time change?
Let me ask you this question. If you can get LeBron for $25 million to $30 million, now he can make over 50,
right,
with the Lakers, maybe 55, whatever that number is. If he can make 25 to 30, and
why wouldn't you take him?
What's that?
Why wouldn't you have him back at
I
that
think
price
there's
tag?
listen, I lean towards you that I do think there's a time that you got to kind of, you got to cut ties and completely move to Luka.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised that they basically say, let's try one more run with this iteration of the team. Let's trade every asset that we have. Mm-hmm. Let's try to put together a team that we feel like can compete for 1 year, and anybody that we go trade for will also be with Luka for another 3-4 years.
Right.
So, like, you can still start the process with Luka, but still have somebody that's top 20 in the league in LeBron.
Do you think the ceiling would be the same for the Lakers with LeBron returning as opposed to him not returning for the 2026-27 season? If you took the payroll flexibility afforded to them by freeing up even $20 or $25 million, would they have a better chance of making a run of the Western Conference postseason or less of a chance?
Here's the problem in free agency. You don't have all these guys that are like standing there and it's like, hey, give the money to LeBron or give the money to this player.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things that kind of hurts the Lakers. Mm-hmm. And so I think they're better off in a very, very, very short-term window. They're better off. But I also understand if they told LeBron, if LeBron's asking for 50 and they're like, we're giving you 25, and he says, well, I'm going to go play for the Golden State Warriors, I don't think the Lakers would lose sleep. I think they would say, okay, if that's what is in your best interest, then we're going to officially turn that chapter and start moving on.
What do you think the terms?
But they got the Luka piece of this. Luka's an unrestricted free agent in 2 years. He's got a player option in 2 years. So there's a part of this where it's like you start Luka's probably never been further. He gets to an NBA Finals. He gets to a Western Conference Finals and an NBA championship. Gets to an NBA Finals with the Dallas Mavs. He's going the opposite way. He's not getting any closer.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I mean, wouldn't you be surprised? Is Luka really going to walk away from the Lakers in 2 years? Would that be surprising among NBA, like in NBA circles, if he did that?
It would be surprising, but what if he doesn't feel like he's competing for an NBA championship?
Well, then the narrative on like it's the most lopsided trade in the history of the league, and can you believe the Dallas traded for AD for Luka? But it'd be like, well, they didn't do anything. They plan to play alongside LeBron James for 4 years and never won anything.
Yeah, I think it's something just to remember when you say that. That's why every trade, it's so difficult to determine whether it was the right or wrong trade. But let me just on Anthony Davis here real quick.
Yeah,
he played 29 games with the Dallas Mavericks. They traded a top 5 player for somebody to play 29 games. That's 100%. Why no matter what happens, it's still one of the dumbest trades in NBA history.
It would be a what could have been, though. I mean, if Luka actually walked away from the Lakers in 2 summers,
I get it.
His greatest accomplishment was what? I mean, to this point, what have they done? He's lost a first-round playoff series? Is that what he's done so far?
They lost a first-round playoff series where they won 1 game, and then he was out for the whole playoffs this year.
So I think there's a good chance that Luka's around for more than 2 years. Here's the other question for me. You said
I agree with that, but they have to, they got to build.
But the LeBron thing, where he could make 50-something, but it sounds like they're talking about his contract, and we're talking maybe somewhere in the 20 to 25 or 30 range. What do you think it ultimately lands at?
By $30
million.
Yeah, or a 2-year. I know you're going to roll your eyes and say give this guy 2 years, but maybe they do like a 2-year. Brad Turner covers the Lakers for the LA Times. He had mentioned something about don't be surprised they give him a $50 million deal.
Okay.
It's 2 years, 50, and he's got a player option for the second year where they're like, hey, we can give you 50, but we got to spread it out over 2 years.
If he's back for 2 years, then this whole
never gonna end. I know.
We're gonna the summer 2026. Lucas Camp wants to know what you're gonna do to build a team around him. Well, you're never gonna do that.
It's never gonna end.
It's like at some point,
LeBron's gonna play
in the league 5 years ago. right?
LeBron's going to play until he's 56 years old and keep cashing in
He's
checks.
not really going to play 2 more years, is he?
Yeah, but I'm not holding. I mean, now he gets a clean quarters, 25 years in the league. I honestly wouldn't hold past anything.
You wouldn't, right? So you think it is a possibility?
It is a possibility to play 2 years.
Like,
it is.
I mean, we kind of get to the point, though. And listen, is he still a very good player? Of course.
No, I'm with you. Listen,
what are we doing?
I think there's, if I'm being honest, and I obviously run a Laker channel, an NBA channel. There is, I'd say, 80% of the Laker fan base is like, we still doing the same thing here?
Here's my, what is the point of the Lakers franchise? Is it a celebration of basketball's history, or is the purpose to win? Like, are we celebrating some of the great players in modern basketball?
But this is where I can defend LeBron. He was the best player they had in the playoffs.
That's because Luka wasn't around.
Luka wasn't around, but it wasn't Reeves. It wasn't anybody else.
Right.
It was still
Reeves
by
was
far
awful
LeBron.
at times. Yeah. Wasn't Reeves terrible at times? Yeah.
And they're about to give him 200 and change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I get exactly what you're saying, and I get people's frustration with the LeBron piece, but he's still good, and that's what's like.
That's the difference in the Machado
this.
Bogarts thing. It's like, it would be one thing if Padres fans were like, are we really bringing Machado back for another year? But people are like, yeah, but he's still hitting.
And he's hitting 25 home runs.
Yeah, it's a different conversation. That would be a more reasonable conversation. It's not a conversation if LeBron was scoring 9 points a game and shooting 39% from the floor and I was injured.
LeBron is basically, if I'm using a baseball equivalent, he's your second best starter.
In the rotation.
In the rotation.
He's the second best starter in the rotation.
So
how do you walk away from that?
That's
They're
what I'm
valuable.
saying. Okay, sometimes he acts like your third best starter.
Yes.
But he's still...
Those are valuable pieces.
Those are valuable pieces.
Really valuable pieces. That's interesting. All right. Will Luka and LeBron be back together for another 5 years in L.A.? All right, on the other side, let's turn our attention back to the Padres getting set for a series in Texas against the Rangers. 3-3
need 2
so
or 3.
far.
Just need 2 or 3.
On their road trip. What do they need to do this weekend? Plus, coming up at 5 p.m., Darnay Tripp is on the show from NBC7. Darren Smith will join us at 5:15. We're broadcasting live from Memorial Park in Chula Vista. Team Mexico against South Korea tonight at 6. Pre-match coverage right here on 760 at 5:30. Stay with us on Schaefer and Sliwa. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, America is turning 250, and San Diego Sports 760 is celebrating with $250,000 in cash. Listen for your chance to win $2,500 so you could take the ultimate American getaway. Visit the states, the cities, the landmarks, and national parks that make our country amazing. Win your share of $250,000. Just listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportsetsd.com. Your next chance to win is coming up after 5 p.m., of course, right here on San Diego Sports 760.
Beautiful day in Chula Vista. It really is. Team Mexico will play tonight at 6. There's a watch party out here at Memorial Park, 3rd Avenue, and we're here until 5:30 broadcasting live. There are Mexican flags everywhere you look. Fans in Mexican jerseys as well. Me and Alan are wearing Mexican jerseys.
What do you want us to do? We're in. We're all in here. We're going to Mexico tomorrow.
We're all in. We're also all in on Team USA playing tomorrow. You can hear the match right here on San Diego Sports 760 pre-match coverage at 11:30 a.m. There's breaking baseball news. Mike Trout, who's had a bit of a resurgence this year,
don't tell me,
has been placed on the IL again. Jeez. Who knows how many times he's been placed on it in the last 5 years, but he goes on with a hamstring. He had an 866 OPS this year, a 144 OPS plus, was really playing well. 17 home runs out in the first half of the year, but now he's been placed on the IL for the struggling Angels team. But Mike Trout, again, was having that resurgence of a year, but it'll have to see the IL, unfortunately, for Trout.
Do you look at Trout? I know Trout is considered one of the greatest players in our modern era.
Yep.
Did you look at him differently when he never left Anaheim, never asked to leave? I did too.
It's a shame because oftentimes players who celebrated, Derek Jeter, Kobe Bryant come to mind, and spending their entire career in one uniform. The difference in Jeter and Kobe, do you know the difference? They both have. Do they both have 5?
They both got 5.
Jeter has 5? Because Jeter won in 2009, didn't he?
Or maybe did Jeter have 4?
He won 4 in the 5-year span. Then he was still in the majors in 2009, right?
When A-Rod, when they won with A-Rod.
In the postseason. Yeah. So he's got 5 and Kobe has 5. Mike Trout has played in 3 career postseason games. Not 3 World Series.
I know.
He's played in 3 career postseason games.
Listen, I'm not going to lie here. And I love that there was a resurgence. I love that he was balling out. I'm sure people in Anaheim, obviously they love his loyalty, the whole thing, if you're an Angel fan. But as just somebody that just appreciate the sports, I remember when the Shohei thing was going down. And now that I look back on it, I wish he stayed in Anaheim for 31 years.
Right.
But when that was all going down, there was a piece that's like, what in God's name would he go back to the Angels for? Don't you want to compete? Don't you want a shot at trying to, especially if you're that caliber of a player? And Mike Trout, for almost his entire career, has been one of the best players in all of baseball, if not the best player in baseball.
On one of the truly worst franchises in the sport. They have consistently been awful.
I don't know who knows what happens in the background, but does Mike Trout take you as a player that was in the background saying, you get me a freaking competitive team or I'm going to demand that I leave?
No, because of the deal he signed. The extension he signed for $426 million. Here's the other thing about Trout. And
I hate to hold that against him, but I kind of do.
Through 2022, he was about 30. He's 34 right now. Think about that. He's only 1 year older than Manny. They'll actually be both 34 when Manny turns 34 July 1st.
Okay.
But through 2022, his career on base plus slugging was 1,000. Mm-hmm. It was 1,002.
Yep.
And from that moment on, the wheels have really fallen off. I can't get the exact numbers, but his OPS is probably 820. So he's had a 200-point drop in OPS from his age 30 season. And he's also obviously been oft injured over the last 4 years as well.
Yeah,
and
it sucks.
It does. How will we look back on Mike Trout's career as one of the top players of the era, or will we not? Based on A, how the second half of his career has played out, and B, on the fact that he just was never on a winner.
Well, I think you can't have a conversation about Mike Trout without also having a conversation and saying, yeah, but I never saw him in big moments. I never saw him in a World Series. I never saw him in a
championship series.
Yeah, that's the problem is. And the year, I think that you said they played 3 playoff games. Isn't that the year where the Angels just killed it in the regular season and then got swept?
Won like 98 or 100 games.
And they got swept.
3.
Yeah. So that's going to come with the territory when you talk about Mike Trout. Obviously, you hate to see him get injured. That's unfortunate.
315 games for Trout since the start of the 2023 season. So he's been often on the IL, unfortunately. So there's that developing news story, again, involving Trout. You got a Padres. It's so interesting because the Padres have been so much better on field than the Angels over the last decade, right? There's no comparison, really. I mean, one team's been in the postseason, the other team has not. Yet we talk about the Padres at times. I mean, I get caught in that conversation like, well, they haven't done anything. They have made the postseason 4 of the last 6 years. They have gotten to 1 NLCS. Is it fair? Like, isn't that funny? Because it's true. The Angels have literally done nothing under Mike Trout. But don't you sometimes hear, well, the Padres haven't reached the promised land either. But I can't compare the two franchises.
No,
over the
you
last
can't.
10 years, can you?
But I think if you went, there was a stretch that the Padres were in where it's like, yeah, this team, they're not trying to compete.
Oh, I got you. Before this recent run.
Yeah, before this recent run. So you're right. I think, again, with expectations comes, we were talking a little bit earlier, we were talking about, hey, what's expectations for Mexico? What's expectations for USA in the World Cup? All this. Your expectations change based on the amount of success you've had or the lack of success that you've had. And because the Padres started having some success, they started making the playoffs, our expectations changed for them. 5 years ago, if you asked me, are you happy with the Padres just making the playoffs? I would have said yes.
Right.
5 years ago.
I agree. 2020.
Now our conversation is like, so what do they do? They're just going to get into the wild card and they're out in 3 games again?
Right. Yeah, it's the expectations have risen.
Expectations changed.
It's like San Diego State basketball. 20 years ago when you're a student.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of San Diego State being in the NCAA tournament, that was the promised
land. I remember the first time they got into the NCAA tournament.
They win the Mountain West tournament.
It was a celebration
Illinois.
Like no tomorrow.
Yeah, and it was fine that they lost Illinois in
Yes.
Chicago, right?
Yes.
By 30 points. Yeah, but it changed as the years went on, and you get
this
to
year,
2011.
Just let's sit on this year. This year they don't make the tournament, and you know, San Diego is like, what are you guys doing?
Right. I mean, but you think about, like, you get to 2011, you win your the first ever NCAA tournament win for San Diego State men's basketball team was in 2011, the Kawhi Leonard team. They make a Sweet 16.
Yep,
They lose to UConn and Anaheim, right? 2014, they're back in a Sweet 16. They lose to Arizona in Anaheim.
I was there for that one.
And then you look at, obviously, the Brian Dutcher
catching
run.
all the L's.
Brian Dutcher's run, the tournament basically every single year. They've even appeared in a national championship game. But, yeah, the expectations have changed for the Aztecs because of what they've done the last 25 years.
And to tie that back to Trout and the Angels, there's no expectations there. That's why, there was that disappointment of, like, Trout, are you sure? Is that really where you want to stay? You're staying in Anaheim where they clearly, obviously got no shot. So
on YouTube, Normal Height says, come on, guys, that's ring culture talk. Of course, he's one of, if not the best player this century. Mike Trout. I mean, his numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, but
they're ridiculously impressive.
No. But let's stop there for a second. Yes, he is one of the great. But you're also going to say, I never got to see Trout in the most important games of his career. I never did. The biggest game I ever seen Trout play was in the WBC.
I agree. But would you agree, though, it is
Soto jerseys
sport?
here. Let's get a little Padres Soto jersey. Maybe he's back.
I have not seen one of those in a while.
Did they trade him?
No, I don't think so.
I think the Padres landed him.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But here's the truth. Wouldn't you agree? In the NBA, of course, rings are like a prerequisite for all-time greats. A prerequisite to be considered one of the top 5 or 10. In the NFL, quarterbacks have to win Super Bowl championships. Those are big teams, but you have to win a Super Bowl as a quarterback. In Major League Baseball, you can be one of the greatest players in the history of the sport without a World Series.
Yes.
Is that fair?
I think it's fair. Yeah. So let's throw Tony Gwynn in the mix. People consider Tony Gwynn, of course, one of the greatest hitters the sport's ever seen, and if not the greatest. He went to 2 World Series.
Yep, he did.
So like I think we sometimes maybe even forget. I do think I'm not discrediting Mike Trout, the baseball player. I'm discrediting the team that he represented for his entire career.
Ted Williams never won a World Series. Ty Cobb never won a World Series. Barry Bonds never won a World Series.
A lot of playoff appearances.
But here's the thing.
A lot of playoff appearances. A lot of big games. We just don't have a big game that Trout has been in. Yeah. That's my point.
That's at least a part of the story.
Yeah.
The guy's numbers speak for themselves, but it's got to at least be a part of the story.
And again, I'm not saying that he's not one of the greatest players to ever have a bat.
He's been amazing. Do you think he finished his career in Anaheim? I mean, with that contract, he's got to, right? He's not going to spend. Is he going to be dealt with that? He's owed hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, probably so.
That's
like the final year of his contract or something. He ends up somewhere else.
All right. If you missed our conversation There's a lot of base right now. We are at Chula Vista Memorial Park. Watch parties underway. Team Mexico playing tonight at 6. Pre-match coverage on 760 beginning at 5:30. We'll get to the wrap coming up. If you missed Adrian Garcia Marquez, you'll hear a conversation at 4:30. We're broadcasting live until 5:30. This is Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. The Padres have off today. They start a weekend series tomorrow in Arlington against the Rangers. We have a couple World Cup finals from today. Earlier, Switzerland defeated Bosnia 4-1, and Chechnya and South Africa ended in a 1-1 tie. And right now, currently, Canada leads Qatar 2-0. Bank of America, sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026, dedicated to offering solutions to help businesses meet their goals locally and globally. More at bankofamerica.com/game changers.
All right, a great atmosphere out here in Chula Vista. We're at Memorial Park, and fans are filing in. Team Mexico playing tonight, Alan. 6 p.m. is the start time. Mexico against South Korea. You can hear the match right here on 760. Pre-match coverage beginning at 5:30. It is a spectacular day. Not a cloud. There's a cloud in the sky, but whatever. Let me just paint the picture. Just pretend like there's no cloud in the
there's
sky.
A couple clouds.
There's no clouds because we're on the radio.
A couple to the left here.
Don't worry about those. Not a cloud in the sky.
A little dark on that side.
72 degrees. A quintessential San Diego afternoon.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And you told me earlier, like, yo, are you bringing a quarter zip? It's cold. I'm like,
No, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it's perfect.
This is beautiful.
It's perfect. No June gloom
I'm
today.
trying to think here. Atmosphere-wise, what kind of events in SD provide this kind of atmosphere? All right, I'm gonna kind of think of a couple, okay? When they, this is going to sound kind of funny, when they tied the Phillies 1-1
but
in the series.
It's true, but you were they were at Petco Park, and their game was there. So, like, what about something that isn't physically a game? I'll give you
not
one.
Physically a game. Well, I mean, they weren't in San Diego, but when the Chargers were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a good one, but you're going back 30-something years.
Well, listen, man, I'm trying to find a good one, okay?
I was just thinking,
what do you have? You're
Big Bay at the Boom. What is it? Big Boom at the Bay? Big Bay Boom, 4th of July, downtown. Okay. Specifically the one like 10 years ago where they set off all the fireworks in 30 seconds.
That was the best. That was the best.
That was a cool atmosphere.
But that's you're talking non-sports. I'm trying to tie it into sports here.
Well, okay. Well,
because we are. I don't know if you know this. It's a sports radio station.
But I know.
Right?
So are you saying that this is kind of unique into itself?
Very unique. This is like as good as it gets from a.
Yeah, outside Petco Park was like, well, yeah, you're in the National League Championship Series. You just won. So yeah, that's gonna be a good atmosphere. I'm sorry. Who do we have?
You said Brunson. He's talking about Brunson.
Oh, I'm like, we have John Brunson with us right now. That's terrific.
Brunson, yeah, he's from the parade.
Yeah, that's really great. All right, let's switch gears because the Knicks did have their parade. My nephew, who grew up in New York, was actually there today. 13 years old, Knicks fan.
Wow.
Actually, I think he's 14 now. Ninth grader. What would you be at the end of ninth grade?
So 14? This dude already got. He's already
got one.
He already got a parade at 14. It's a good life.
But he also grew up like a Mets and a Jets. And Knicks, it's been hard.
But you know what? That's what. Who did we have from the New York Post that came on earlier in the week? And he's like, "Hey,
Mike Vaccaro.
If there's one franchise that unites all of New York, it's the Knicks." Because then you say Yankees, it's like 60%, 40%. Yeah. You got people, Jets, this, whatever the case is. It's like the Knicks. Everybody's a Knicks fan.
I thought he was going to say the Islanders.
I'm sure he was.
Right?
I'm sure he was.
Anyway. Jalen Brunson, there were over 2 million people in New York today.
Was that what it was?
Canyon of Heroes, they've said reportedly over 2 million people there. Jalen Brunson had some interesting comments about the critics, a little bit like, remember Team Australia getting ready for Team USA tomorrow? They took question at one of the commentators saying that Australia is a layup for Team USA.
Yeah, this one's different.
Let's hear from Jalen Brunson here this afternoon at the Knicks Parade.
There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions. But when you prove them wrong, you really don't have to say to them. Nah, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Is it though? I mean, is it different? I saw the clips of what Stephen A. Smith had to say the day he signed as a free agent and others. I mean, isn't he
Becky
taking
Hammond,
a shot at the media?
I think it really kind of stems. Becky Hammond had said something, who's now the coach of the Las Vegas Aces. In the past, she was an assistant for the San Antonio Spurs. She's a great coach. She had said something to the effect, you cannot win a championship with somebody that small of a point guard.
So he was taking a shot at Becky Hammond.
I think but he wasn't the only one. Listen, if you told me a month ago, can you win an NBA championship with Jalen Brunson, who's your best player? I'm saying no.
Right. So I just think it's like the media. I think it's everyone.
But let's rewind this. Do you think a month ago would you have said, if I said the best player on your team that's going to carry your squad is Jalen Brunson, can you win an NBA championship? Would you have said yes?
Nobody would have said yes. Jalen Brunson might not have said yes. Of course he would have. But nobody. Knicks fans didn't believe 6 weeks ago the Knicks were winning an NBA title.
That's why, like, again, whatever motivates you is good for that person.
Yeah,
that's great. But, like, were we saying that just if somebody said today, you know who can't win a championship in their career is Victor Wembanyama, I'd be like, yeah, you're just
that's
dumb.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
that's an idiotic statement. Right. Or I'll use Luka. Luka can't win you an
stupid as well.
That's dumb as well.
Now, you say it about Mike Trout, it's probably something that should be said at this point in his career.
But if you go down the list of like, all right, give me the top 10 players in the league, and the further down top 10 you get, and let's say Jalen Brunson's towards that like latter part,
10.
That's not a crazy thing to say.
Right.
You don't have all these 6'2" point guards that have gone out and won NBA championships. You could say Isaiah Thomas. You could say Steph Curry. I mean, there's a few of them here. But taking a franchise like the New York Knicks, who haven't won in 50-plus years. Now, again, let Jalen Brunson should use that as the motivation, but I also don't think that was a crazy comment to say a month ago.
No, I completely agree. And by the way, that's how all athletes should look at it. Like, you have to have that hunger, fire, let me prove people wrong.
Yeah.
It's what I like sometimes about the player that is like a little engine that could. Like, LeBron James is an amazing story. He's one of the best players of all time, if not the greatest player of all time. He was also expected to be.
Of course.
He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated as the chosen one at St. Vincent St. Mary's. Jalen Brunson wins a national championship, and people tell you, yeah, but he can't play in the NBA. He's not big enough. He gets drafted in the second round. He's not going to be someone that can play. He's not a regular. Is he even a rotation piece? Can he start? Shoot, he's on the same team as Luka at one point in his career. I just like Jalen Brunson's story because it's one of those, like,
very
let
unique.
Me prove him wrong every step of the way.
And listen, if you told me today, do I think they could do it again next year? I'd probably say no.
I don't think they can.
Now, and listen,
they might prove us wrong.
And maybe we look like an idiot again. I thought when I heard that thing this morning, I don't blame Jalen Brunson saying it. I don't blame people, he proved this person wrong, that person wrong. Don't tell me a month ago that Knicks fans thought they're going to go win a championship. They didn't. So, and give Jalen Brunson all the credit in the world because I think he did shut up a lot of critics. And if we come back to next season, I'm probably going to go against the Knicks again.
Well, we had Mike Vaccaro on, and he said, you know what? I think that Jalen Brunson's now the most popular athlete in the city over Aaron Judge. That's an incredible statement that could only occur because of what played out, obviously, over the last
I agree.
week. You need that ring. Now, if Aaron Judge gets one, I would guess that would trump. But then again, Mike Vaccaro said it's the Knicks above these other franchises that unite the city of New York.
Yeah, they're you got Yankees and Mets there, but it really is just Knicks fans. I will say this on just the Knicks run as well. That might have been one of the best playoff runs a team has ever had.
Only lost 3 times?
They lost 3 times. They're down 2-1 in a series. They go to the NBA Finals. They come back from 29 points. They come back in every single game they have by more than double digits. That truthfully could be one of the greatest or one of the best playoff runs we've seen. Give them their credit.
Completely agree. All right, get down to Chula Vista. We're at Memorial Park where Team Mexico will play tonight at 6 p.m. Watch parties underway. You can watch it down here from Memorial Park. You can hear the match live beginning at 5:30 on San Diego Sports 760. We'll get to the wrap at 4 p.m. But on the other side,
a while here. That was a little strong.
You had a coffee and a Red Bull. On the other side, we're going to hear from Colin Cowherd, the Herd on the state of the Lakers.
Okay.
Colin Cowherd weighing in on the Lakers moving forward. I have. You're going to find it interesting. Colin Cowherd on the Lakers on the other side. The Wrap at 4 p.m. Darnay Tripp at 5 and Darren Smith at 5:15 on San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. Schaefer and Sliwa from Chula Vista Memorial Park on this Thursday afternoon. Get down here. Team Mexico plays in just over 2 hours, 6 p.m. You're going to stick around for it.
What? Yeah, I'm going to stick around for what percentage of South Korea fans? I did see one jersey. I identified one.
I would say it's 99.999% rooting for Korea. No, for Team Mexico.
For Team Mexico, and there's a 0.1 somewhere, 0.001.
Yeah. No,
where do you go?
This is really a scene.
Yeah, where do you go if you are cheering for South Korea? Like, do you just kind of go to your own corner? Do you,
maybe Seoul?
It could be.
That's a good spot to watch tonight. I'm sure their parties are
excellent point.
Cooking right now.
Excellent point.
Seoul, but I think today in Chula Vista, I think most of the watch parties center around Team Mexico.
Where are we eating?
Well, I've already had a panini because you did.
You went to like an Italian
Team Mexico. You always have a panini.
Yeah. So I had
like
an Italian bakery and was like, "Let me get your caprese."
Yeah. So I mean, where are you going to eat after? Why don't you? There's taco vendors.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah, I'm going somewhere.
There's like quesadillas.
Probably going to do one of these taco vendors.
Yeah, I think a taco vendor makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to do a lot of tacos in Monterey. I'd like to do a lot of Mexican food when we're in Monterey.
That'd be a good idea.
I don't want to go to Applebee's.
Sure.
If there's one in Monterey.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to Panda Express and saying, hey, let's grab, some teriyaki chicken and a rice bowl. I probably won't do that.
No, I want to do Mexican food.
Yeah.
All right, so Colin Cowherd has weighed in on what we've been talking about for weeks, which is like, what are the Lakers doing with their offseason, and what is the best plan moving forward? Alan has not heard this, so I want you to hear this and react to Colin Cowherd today on San Diego Sports 760. You hear from 9 to noon. This is Colin on the Lakers' disconnect with their roster building.
I have said this offseason, the two pieces I would build around with the Los Angeles Lakers are J.J. Redick and Luka. The Lakers are trapped. They have to sign Austin Reeves, good player, or else he goes and you get nothing for him, like Alex Caruso. So they got him undrafted. They've gotten a lot of years out of him. He's been a nice player. But here's the disconnect. Somebody asked Luka what he thinks the Lakers need. And his quote was, "We need shooters," because I often get double teamed. Interesting. LeBron is not a shooter. LeBron shot 31% on threes last year. Why? You get older, you lose those legs. You don't lose your brain, your willpower, you lose the legs. Austin Reeves, very good at creating shots, not a great catch and shoot guy. So the formula to build around Luka is not complicated. You need a defense-first rim protector, a big, and then 3-and-D guys to cover for him on the defensive end, athletic 3-and-D guys. That is not Austin Reeves. That is no longer LeBron James. It should also be noted, LeBron missed 14 games to start the season, and Austin Reeves missed 31 games. We do now question, and it's fair, some of Austin Reeves' durability long-term issues. Oh, by the way, third straight season, Luka missed games due to injuries. So you've got three players who have mostly duplicate games. None are elite 3-and-D. Luke is the only elite shooter that's often doubled and trapped. None are great defenders. None are rim protectors. And what you need is athleticism, defense. And Luke is like, get me shooters. So this is the classic disconnect. It's like when the Lakers got Luka, it was like winning the lottery. But the biggest part of winning the lottery after you get the check is what to do with it. Buying 3 boats, generally not the answer. So that's what the Lakers have. It's just duplication. LeBron, Austin, and Luka all need the ball. None are great defenders. All have injury concerns. Now, they're all different stylistically, but it's kind of the same guy. Now, when LeBron was in his prime, he was a much different player than Luka. But LeBron now has similarities with Luka. Not a great defender, not going to play 82 games, and can score pretty much whenever he has to. So it's very murky, and I do feel like Laker fans thought Luka was the golden ticket. They won the lottery, but we're now a couple of years removed from that deal. I still don't know what they're doing. They don't know what to do with the Powerball ticket. It's like people that are getting ready to retire you hit 60, 61, 62, and you're getting ready for retirement, and you got all your retirement set up. You're like, okay, I got my pension, I got my 401k, or I've got my SEP, and you're like, I don't really love golf. And then there's a lot of people out there. I've known them. They have anxiety. Like, what? I don't have a ton of hobbies. I worked a lot. I don't love golf. And it's like, but I've got my pension, my retirement, my money and time. I don't know quite what to do with it. That's a real thing. And so I look at the Lakers. You got the golden ticket with Luka. 2 years later, it's all murky. They don't know what to do with it.
I mean, listen, he makes some valid points there. And again, I'll go back to a point that I'll paint you a picture. You don't have to be somebody making a few $1 million to be a president of basketball operations for an NBA team.
Mm-hmm.
If I told you, hey, you got Luka Doncic.
Yep.
What kind of player do you want to put next to Luka? Would you say, I want somebody who needs the ball, can't play defense?
No.
And is going to cost the organization about $200 million?
Nope.
Would you say, I want somebody who's 41, who's one of the greatest to ever play the game, but is also might cost you? Last year he was 52.
Right. No, I wouldn't start there either.
What you would say is like, all right, well, let's not. We don't have to create. Let's just see what has worked with Luka in the past. You're like, okay, hey, a rim runner, a very athletic center, guys that can play defense, 3-and-D players, another really good explosive offensive player that takes a little pressure off of them.
That makes sense.
Lakers don't have any of this. So they don't have any of none of that is there.
What and the reasoning being because their hands have been tied with the contracts that they have, including LeBron James, because they haven't developed well, because they just keep playing for now and now and now, but they've never developed the team properly.
Yeah, I think there's definitely that. I mean, the Lakers are not a franchise, this goes to their detriment, and this is also part of their success.
Sure, yeah, I buy that.
They're not a franchise to bottom out.
Right, they're like, let's spend 3 years building it back.
But they did that.
Right.
They did that back in, after Kobe retired, and immediately when they got a chance to trade all that away, they did for Anthony Davis, and that's kind of what the Lakers are, right? And they cashed one in. They won a championship. So I think there's...
Although, how do Laker fans look at that?
The championship?
Yeah.
I'll tell you how I look at it.
How do you look at it?
They played, I think, about 3/4 of the season before...
And then there was the lengthy stoppage.
Yeah, and I think if at that point, they were one of, let's call it 4 teams max that had a shot at winning a championship. So it wasn't crazy to see the Lakers win the championship.
Yep.
Clippers had a shot. Lakers had a shot. Trying to think who else. I know Miami got to the NBA Finals, but it's just like there was a small, Milwaukee had a shot. There was a small handful of teams that had a shot. So the fact that the Lakers won in the bubble, that's not crazy because they were one. What would have been crazy if Miami came out of nowhere and won the whole thing.
But my question is, compared to the other titles, does it sit below the others because of the circumstances?
Yeah.
A little bit like how I think a lot of Dodger fans treat the 2020 World Series in the 60-game season.
But I think that's different because they only played 60 games.
I agree.
And
the postseason was different. 16 teams from the postseason that year.
Yeah, I mean, it was just different.
Yep.
So I think if you're asking the question, is that equate to the same championship when the Lakers won in Game 7 against the Boston Celtics? Of course not.
But it's the long way of the long and the short of it is this. What Colin is saying is what we've been talking about for a couple of weeks is what Lakers fans are talking about as well, which is is the path that they're on the right one to win? Is the path that they're on the right one to win? Or are they just kicking the can By saying, I'll bring LeBron and Luka back, they'll figure it out. These are two of the best players in the NBA.
This is the only way that you can combat that. If this summer they basically say F everything, every pick we have, I think they're gonna go all in right now.
Right.
And they're gonna then ride on Luka's greatness and getting rid of the picks and taking their chances. They may fall flat on their face, but I think that's what they're going to do.
It'll be interesting to watch how it plays out. We'll get to the wrap on the other side. We're in Chula Vista, Memorial Park, Team Mexico watch party coming up tonight at 6 p.m. You can hear the match beginning at 5:30.
Get the vibe out.
It's a great vibe. Darnay Tripp from NBC7 will join us at 5. Darren Smith at 5:15. If you missed Adrian Garcia Marquez, you'll hear it at 4:30. Here until 5:30. Schaefer and Slay with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. The Padres have an off day today. They're on their way to Texas to start their weekend series with the Rangers tomorrow night. We have a couple finals in the World Cup. Earlier today, Chechnya and South Africa ended in a 1-1 tie. Switzerland was all over Bosnia 4-1. And right now at halftime, Canada's all over Qatar 3-0. Later on tonight, beginning at 5:30, we'll have pre-match coverage for Mexico's match against South Korea. Like I said, you can hear that entire match right here on San Diego Sports 760 beginning at 5:30. This Father's Day at Lowe's, shop the gear that'll make his summer. Get 2 free Select DeWalt power tools when you buy a Select 5.8H battery kit for weekends in the garage. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
All right, hour 3, Schaefer and Sliwa, Memorial Park, Allen, Chula Vista. What a scene this is. Thousands of people are here, festive atmosphere. Mexico's match will be on the big screens tonight at 6 p.m., and you can hear the match against South Korea right here beginning at 5:30 with pre-match coverage. And we have you covered because Adrian Garcia Marquez, if you missed him earlier, you'll hear that at 4:30. Darren Smith swings by at 5:15. And Darnay Tripp from NBC7 will join us at 5 p.m.
We got a packed final hour and a half, then right to the pregame show, getting you ready for Mexico and South Korea. We're ready. I mean, if you're watching us on YouTube, we're ready to go. Let's just say we're all Mexico right now.
Now, you and I are literally going to Mexico tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll fly from TJ to Monterrey. We'll enjoy the weekend from Monterrey, Mexico.
Sounds so funny.
We're going to watch Japan play Tunisia.
Yep.
In Monterrey. By the way, the most ridiculous backdrop I've ever seen on television or the pictures. The pictures look ridiculous. It looks like the Rose Bowl. I kid you not.
So beautiful.
The backdrop with the mountains. So really looking forward to it this weekend, the long weekend. We're off for Juneteenth, but we'll be in Mexico watching the World Cup and taking in Monterrey.
Can't wait. By the way, this scene too, you know, if you're saying to yourself, I love the World Cup. I'm going to watch the game at 6 o'clock. I'm going to watch it at home or whatever the case is. Trust me when I tell you this, just for setups here in San Diego, this is as good as an event that you can set up. And the vibe down here, obviously, a lot of people looking forward to that match coming up at 6 o'clock. And I would highly suggest come watch the Mexico game here.
All right, why don't we do this as we typically do at 4 p.m. Let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Does Team Mexico win tonight versus South Korea?
Oh, no question about it. Is that even a question right now?
Question.
Well,
just
I'm not
the rap question.
I refuse to think that they don't win. Say Mexico wins. You want the score? Want the score as well?
I want the score,
Already saw the game.
What's the
2-1 Mexico.
Oh, 2. You were so confident.
2-1 Mexico.
All right, Mexico tonight is actually plus 100. So basically an even line to win the match, not to draw the match, but win it. I agree with you. I think Mexico wins, but I think it's a 1-0. 1-0. This match in Guadalajara tonight, they were in Azteca in their opener. I say 1-0 Team Mexico as with the winner. They're going to win the group. They'll be in line to win the group if they do win tonight. You say 2-1. You were so confident.
Let's go 2-1.
You said 2-1. I thought you were going to say 4-0.
Well, okay, here's what I said. I think, what did I say? Oh, for the USA game, we were trying to make our predictions last week, and I think I said 2-1. You said 3-1.
Did I say
you
that?
were the aggressive one.
Yeah, maybe I was. Okay.
You were the one that was aggressive. So, yeah, I go 2-1.
Should be a good match. Looking forward to it. Team Mexico tonight at 6 p.m. You can hear it on 760. Next question.
Do you guys like the new home run derby rules?
Have you seen these, by the way?
No, I haven't seen it.
I sprung this on you. So the new home run derby rules are they're going to nix the clock. You get
I did see
20
that.
swings in the first round, then 15 in subsequent rounds. If you keep homering on your last swing, you get to keep going. But you get 20 first-round swings. If you homer on your 20th, you keep going until you don't hit a home run.
Okay. So you can hit 4 in a row in your 20th or your 21st. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Here's what I think. The question of whether I like it or I don't, I think I'm going to go with I don't care. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But these exhibition stuff, I just don't care anymore. Maybe when I was younger, I looked forward to the home run derby. Maybe it meant something. If you get a Padre in there, which you can't get any further away from getting a Padre in the home run. Can you imagine if they put a Padre in the home run derby?
Well, I think they could.
You know what they would do? They would just talk about how many hard hit balls by the Padres.
Wait, you don't think a Padre is going to be in the home run derby?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say no.
I can see Mason Miller pitching.
I can see Mason Miller.
Any home runs in the home run derby.
I can see Mason Miller pitching. That's all. I just don't care about these exhibitions anymore. I don't care about the Pro Bowl, the All-Star game. Everyone wants to cry and whine about in the NBA. It's like, guys, they're exhibitions, so I'm good.
Would you care if a Padre was having a special year, like if Fernando? This is a completely
for a
different
home run derby.
Yeah, let's say Fernando Tatis Jr. had 21 home runs.
Any
right now.
Padre that makes a All-Star game, I care for that player individually. I don't want a reliever coming in and giving up in a 2-2 tie. I don't want Jason Adams coming in, whatever the case is.
That's also the problem with if you're only going to have one All-Star and it's Mason Miller, you may not even see him, and if you do see him, you have to wait until the 9th inning. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a huge fan of the exhibitions anymore. This is the first year it's on Netflix. I do think they'll make it a bit of an event, more so than it's been previously on ESPN, but I don't really care either way how they conduct the home run derby. Next question.
The clock needed to go.
Would you take? Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't keep up with it. There'd be the first home run would even land, and there'd be hitting the next one. So it was going too fast. Would you guys take the Knicks or the field to win next year's title?
Knicks or the field, Alan?
Yeah, you know my answer. I just basically gave Jalen Brunson. That was awesome, and I already don't have faith in the Knicks next year. So I take the field, and it's not even. You could give me. How about this? The Spurs and Thunder or the field?
I would take Spurs Thunder.
I would too.
I would take Spurs Thunder.
I think most people would. So the disrespect is already starting again for the Knicks. They could put it on a bulletin board, give them all the credit in the world for accomplishing what they did, but I'm not taking them.
I am sending that audio to contact@nyknicks.com.
Ooh.
And I'm putting, please put in Jalen Brunson's locker.
Oh, Brunson's going to be
put
so
audio
mad.
in a locker, or if they would just email him the file.
They might put audio in a locker. They might get him a CD. They might
just
put it on a
play
CD
it on
for
repeat.
him. Yeah.
All offseason to motivate Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. I would absolutely take the field, and I do believe either San Antonio or Oklahoma City will be raising the trophy in 2027, a year from now. That's what I firmly believe will happen. Next question.
Will the Padres make a splash at the trade deadline?
A splash.
It's been a big conversation, right? I don't think they make a splash, but I think they make moves. I think they try to, I think they try to improve. I don't think they just stand pat. Now I know we still got a lot of time before the trade deadline ends, and there's a lot of time to determine whether the Padres can improve their current standings, and I think people's feeling about them. They do something. I just don't think it's going to be this. It's really tough. It's going to be a tough position for AJ Preller, because if you're expecting a big splash for a team that hasn't given you a reason to do so, I think we're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, a big splash I don't expect. I don't expect a big splash, but I do expect something that's aggressive in nature. I'm not expecting Tarek Skubal. I'm really not. But I do expect something of substance out of AJ Preller.
And I think you can obviously do that.
What is this? Is this a AI? What is this, Alan?
I don't know what's
what
happening
that is.
here.
A robot?
I'm just seeing there's just a straight
Adriana's
robot.
Insurance robot.
Adriana's Insurance, and it's just walking by. This is just the world we're in today.
Did you see the robot?
Now, the robot is wearing a Mexico flag.
Did you see recently on social media that robot that kicked a little kid?
Are you serious?
Like a parade or something?
What are you talking
Brent
about?
saw it. There was a robot just like that. And he was surrounded by a lot of people, and he was doing all these moves, and he went up to some 8-year-old boy and just did a wheelhouse kick to his body. Yeah, I don't think that was the intention.
What?
Yeah, it was very odd. So now I'm staying away from those things ever since I've seen that.
This one seems a little nicer.
Yeah, he's not doing any kicks.
By the way, imagine 20 years ago that we were just, there's just going to be a robot that just walks by you. That's a little interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. So we got here a couple hours ago. I thought the vibes were good then. The vibes now have
much better now.
Have increased substantially.
There's the place. I mean, remember, Mexico doesn't start until 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we still have 2 hours.
So obviously, for people to get down here, and but this is if they closed it off right now, they're good.
Yeah,
but I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be double the amount of people by the time we get to.
I mean, listen, I thought the Team USA, and I can't wait to watch Team USA tomorrow. Yeah. We're going to be traveling, but they play at noon against the Aussies. And we were in Little Italy last Friday. So we missing
the whole game?
No, we're not missing the whole game.
We'll probably catch the first half.
With your hotspot, we could probably. It's like we're going to be there. We're going to watch everything.
Why is 760 depending on my hotspot? I feel like right now, iHeart has basically said, listen,
we'd love for you if we run your hotspot.
We'd love for you to be a part of the company, but here's going to be the breaker here.
Do you have a hotspot?
How's your hotspot?
And yours is good.
Mine's apparently pretty good.
No, but here's the thing. U.S. plays at noon.
Yeah.
We're not taking off until like 12:45, so maybe we watch the first half.
We're only going to get the first half.
What do you mean?
And then they're going to
hotspot.
Huh?
Are we going to see that first half on your phone?
Yeah, the first half we're going to catch.
And then we'll watch the second half on the plane. We'll have internet, right?
I don't think
Valera
we have internet.
says internet. Valera says internet. Who do you feel more confident in this week?
Yeah.
Mexico tonight against South Korea in Guadalajara, or Team USA tomorrow at noon against the Aussies in Seattle?
I'm going to be honest with you. Mexico USA kind of threw me for a loop last week. They were so impressive. And I have this just like, I've been trained as somebody that doesn't make too big of a deal about the World Cup, but I've just kind of been trained like, yeah, USA soccer, yeah, those don't go well together. So I think I got a little bit more confidence in the USA. I thought they were just so good. There was a swag that I've never really seen with USA soccer. I'm sure it's been there. They got a lot of youngsters as well, so I'm gonna give some love to the U.S. I think the U.S. I got more confidence in them right now.
We're going to be spending a good portion of the next hour talking about Team Mexico and Team USA and this World Cup. If you missed Adrian Garcia Marquez, the voice of SDFC, you'll hear our conversation at 4:30. Darnay Tripp will join us from NBC at 5, and Darren Smith at 5:15. Get to Memorial Park, 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista. Watch party underway. Mexico plays at 6. You can hear it on 760. Stay with us on Schaefer and Sliwa. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, San Diego Sports 760, your home for live coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Get daily match updates from the opening match to the final, July 19th. Hear live play-by-play, the most anticipated games, and every USA match, 2026 World Cup coverage live on San Diego Sports 760. Of course, you're going to catch USA tomorrow. That's at noon. Pregame starts at 11:30. Tonight, you got Mexico versus South Korea. 5:30, the pregame. 6 o'clock will be kickoff.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa, if you missed Adrian Garcia Marquez, he'll get us ready for tonight with Mexico and tomorrow with USA. You'll hear that at 4:30. Darnay Tripp will join us at 5 p.m. I think he's actually covering the upcoming NASCAR event this weekend. He's in Coronado, but Darnay will join us from Coronado at 5 p.m. And then Darren Smith, before we get off the air at 5:30, Darren's going to swing by at 5:15. So what is your plan once the show ends? Are you going to be getting food? You're going to be getting drinks? You're going to be hanging out?
Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I got about a half hour before kickoff. I'm going to go take my laptop, get everything. I don't want to be carrying anything. Then I'm going to go directly. I'm going to kind of start scouting out the rest of this place. I think somebody's telling me there's a beer garden, there's food, there's all that stuff. So I'm going to kind of get myself settled there. And then I'm going to find a spot in front of one of these. They got many of these, these huge screens here that are going to be showing the game. I'm going to post up and watch freaking Mexico and South Korea. That's what I'm going to do.
I think it's a very good plan.
Yeah.
I really do. Did we touch on the fourth question of the wrap?
What was it?
About the Padres, whether they're going to make a splash or not? What did we answer that, or did we
did
just start talking
it.
about a robot?
We did answer it, but then the robot.
Oh, we both said that we thought
kind of
that
disturbed
they
us.
wouldn't be like the most aggressive team. They wouldn't be the splashiest team.
Yeah.
But that they could be aggressive.
Yeah, I mean they'll do. I think they'll do things.
But
I don't think
things?
they're going to be. It's going to be similar to how they play this year. Do the Padres hit many home runs
this year?
Yeah.
No, not by and large.
They ain't hitting a home run during
Gotcha.
during free agency or during the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we talked
Just
yesterday.
slap a base hit,
Right, but not home runs. Like this ranking the top 100 players that could be available at the deadline that we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
The Padres are linked to 10 of the top 20 players and 6 of the top 10. So on one hand, you have that knowledge.
Well,
I
Alcantara,
don't say link.
Is he going to? How expensive would he be? You think? Now I think we said he's a free agent, or he's got like a player option.
There's a club option for 2027.
A club option,
which is good.
Okay,
which is good.
Yeah,
you have that controllability.
Year. Sure.
In terms of his cost, that's a good question. His numbers haven't been good since the injury over the last 2 years. He's been better this year. I mean, I'll tell you this: a lot more affordable than Skubal, although Skubal's a rental and he's got a year plus.
I think there's also going to be the market's going to be expensive. Like when you have this many teams that are still in the mix. I mean, yesterday when we had AC on, I'm like, Kevin, look how many teams are within 2 or 3 games of each other for that final wild card spot. Listen, not all teams are going to be aggressive, but there's going to be a handful of teams that are either contending or teams that just want to, their fan base will be happy enough just to get to the postseason.
Yep.
They'll be aggressive. Let's use a team that the Padres just lost 2 of 3. But the Cardinals can make a case, hey, we're in the mix here. The Cardinals can make a case to their fans. We're going to get it. We're going to get into the playoffs. We're going to try to give ourselves a shot and see what happens. There are a lot of teams that are going to be at least vying for one of these playoff spots, and that's going to come with some of the positioning that I think a lot of these squads are in the mix in.
This may be counterintuitive, but honestly, if I was AJ and if I was trying to be aggressive, I would actually do it with starting pitching over position player additions. And the reason I say that is we're all going to say the same thing no matter what position player they add. You still need Manny and Toddy and Merrill to hit. But the rotation piece is interesting to me because I just want to lock down the top 3 of my rotation if I am fortunate enough to make the postseason. And here's the other thing. You got to get to the postseason. And the back of the rotation is problematic with the injuries to Pivetta and Musgrove.
Wildly all over the place.
Here's the thing. Like, are you going to fix your offense with a hitter? Probably not. Can you improve your rotation with a savvy addition? Yeah, I think you probably could. So, and we're all going to say the same thing. They could add any hitter out there. Byron Buxton, they could add him. CJ Abrams, they could add him. We're going to say the same thing. These other guys got to hit, though. That's what we're going to say. So go add a starting pitcher because this is how they win anyway. They win 3-2.
But aren't you back to where you were? Isn't it the same equation as last year?
And
where you don't have enough offense
too.
You don't have enough offense. You got I think their pitching is, their starting pitching by the time you get, I think every month that goes by, I think there's going to be more question marks about their starting pitching.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so you're saying you're just right back there anyway. What's the point? Well, under that premise, I understand.
I don't want to say what's the point because I do think there's value of making a wild card spot.
That's the point.
I'm not trying to. I still think it's important to make a wild card spot. I just have a difficult time at what cost, I guess, is the question. Because
the cost being, I wouldn't add Scooble because the cost is too significant. But would I try to add, a starting right-handed pitcher for the Twins, Joe Ryan? Or would I try to add, you just mentioned Sandy Alcantara, for example, for the Marlins, the right-handed starter who previously won a Cy Young forever ago?
Yeah.
If the cost or the price is right, so to speak, then I would at least consider it. But I'm with you. I don't want to mortgage the future for a team that's 3 games over 5.
Here's a comment here. I'm going to read it. Mike says on YouTube, the Padres have too many holes to even imagine making one trade mortgaging the future again, that will make a difference.
But what if you don't have to mortgage the future?
Yeah, and I think that's what we're kind of saying. What we're saying is, of course, Ethan Salas should not be in a conversation. Of course, Ethan Salas shouldn't be in a conversation for a 1-year rental. I mean, last year when they traded DeVries, who did you get? You got the best closer in baseball. You have him under team control. And now whether you agree with that trade or you don't, at least you got somebody that literally is arguably the face of your franchise right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And you have him for an extended amount of time. You're going to do that with Scooble?
No, you're not.
Scooble's going to be gone before you even.
Yeah. But think about it right now. They don't even have a number 2 starter. Even their number 1 is leaky.
I know.
It's Michael King.
I know.
Number 2, Randy Vasquez, has not been
I'm with you.
particularly good. So we're just waiting for Nick Pivetta to come back?
I was just going to say, how much would things change if, let's say, a month from now, there's just a lot more momentum about Nick Pivetta coming back? Maybe that changes the conversation.
Oh, you're going to want to see it, too, because even if, there's momentum for him coming back, but all of a sudden the trade deadline's here.
Yeah, and he hasn't pitched in X amount of months.
Right, so can you count on him? All right, if you missed Adrian Garcia Marquez, you'll hear from him on the other side, the voice of SDFC.
You're a buzzkill on the Padres.
No, I'm the one that wants to. I'm the one that would. I
think we all are. We are a buzzkill because we're trying to be honest about it.
If I'm the GM, I got no problem doubling down. I'm not worried about 2027 right now, but it's not my job.
But doubling down, what's your definition of doubling down?
Trying to win in 2026, because right now it's not going so smoothly. So I want to put more into it to see if I can still win, but not at the expense of Ethan Salas. I'm not trading Ethan Salas, but if I could do something to help my team in 2026. I'm on board right now. Things could change. They fall under 500 or further out.
Yeah.
All right, Adrian Garcia Marquez on the other side. Darnay Trip at 5 p.m. Darren Smith at 5:15. Schaefer and Sliwa from Chula Vista here on San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. And yes, that means you, California. The whole world is watching one tournament right now with group stage chaos, knockout drama, and stoppage time heartbreak.
All right, the DraftKings Sports app is now live in California. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or like tonight, the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in California, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers. Sign up with code SD760. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year, ends June 28th. Terms, dkng.co/predictions promo.
This report is sponsored by eBay. The Padres have an off day today. They start a weekend set tomorrow afternoon against the Rangers in Texas. We got a couple finals from the World Cup from earlier. South Africa and Chechnya tied at 1 apiece. Switzerland defeated Bosnia 4-1. And right now, Canada is all over Qatar 4-0. Coming up here on San Diego Sports 760 at 5:30, we'll have pre-match coverage of Mexico's match against South Korea. Like I said, you can hear pre-match coverage right here on San Diego Sports 760 beginning at 5:30. eBay is home to millions of finds, and each one becomes part of your story. From your favorite vintage band tee to the dream car you've been searching for, or that foul ball you heroically gave away. It's all there on eBay. eBay, things people love.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa here on San Diego Sports 760, broadcasting live until 5:30. Chula Vista, what an afternoon it is. Darnay Triple join us from NBC 7 live at 5. That rhymed. And Darren Smith will join us at 5:15.
You're like dropping bars, you know what I mean? Like you're a lyricist.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, like when they think of John Schaefer, a lot of them are like, man, this guy is writing any raps, or I mean,
if this doesn't work out,
YouTube? Yeah,
if this doesn't work out, I could see that honestly working out. I really could. All right, if you missed Adrian Garcia Marquez, the voice of SDFC, great perspective on both Team Mexico and Team USA and this World Cup. And we started the conversation by asking him for his thoughts on the way Mexico looked in their debut and his expectations for tonight.
You know what? We wanted more. I think we could have gotten more goals. Mexico could have provided a little bit more, but I think that's just, everybody's expectations. You want Mexico to come out of the gate just the way the United States men's national team did, and no mercy, right? So I think they did show mercy on a couple of occasions. They could have done better, but a win is a win. They look good. They look strong. Julian Quiñones looked like absolutely on fire and on point. That's why he led the Saudi League in goals. I'm looking forward to seeing what Mexico does today. Keeping in mind that South Korea and Mexico had a little dance back in around September, so got to call that game, and it was an absolute fire match. It ended up 2-2 with Sonny coming in late to get that equalizer, and we are expecting the same thing, right? It's going to be absolute, just a festive atmosphere in Guadalajara with the fan base with South Korea and Mexico, but the game itself is going to be a very fun match to follow and watch.
All right, Adrian, you got a much better pulse of this, but I don't know if I can compare it. If I look at Team USA and I'm like, all right, what's the pressure on Team USA? Okay, there's pressure. I'm not saying that there isn't, but it feels like with Mexico and their players, it's a whole nother level. What is, you just kind of, again, like I said, have a pulse for it. What is that for some of these players? Like how this, it feels like for a lot of these countries, this is everything. I mean, we're down here in Chula Vista, and I mean, this environment, this atmosphere is incredible. What's it like for some of these players to have really the entire country, the pressure on their back?
Well, starting with Mexico being that it's their 18th appearance, right? So tradition is that the Mexican fan base that follow it expect the team to advance in every World Cup. The disappointment, they've done it in 3 out of the last 4. So the pressure's on Mexico because of the expectations to maintain the tradition of being one of the better sides when the World Cup hits. And, you're always getting into, that octavos de final, if you will, but then there's always that weird situation that'll come up out of nowhere. Back in '86 against Germany, a penalty kick, and then the no fue penal situation there with the Netherlands and Brazil. And it just keeps kind of, snowballing for the Mexican national team fan, waiting for that advancement into late stages, right? Cuartos de final, if not the final semifinal. Can they get there? I don't know. Do they have the talent? Maybe on paper, they're not as talented as France or some of these other teams, but Mexico can make a nice run because the expectations are high. With the U.S. men's national team, the pressure is on because this is different than the Mexican national team. Nobody was calling them the golden generation. The U.S. men's national team had that tag. They got to live up to it. All of their guys that are playing in Europe, they pretty much told us for the last 5, even 10 years throughout this project and the development that this team was going to be an absolute force to reckon with, maybe come within 10 years or 2026 here we are. Now it's time to show it. And they did show it right out of the gate with that impressive win. And it was a dominant win nonetheless. Mexico could have dominated that game against South Africa, but today the matchup against South Korea is going to be way more of a test. And keep in mind, guys, whoever wins literally gets the ticket, punch to the Willy Wonka, chocolate factory. You move on to the next round, and that's what you want, right? You want to advance. And, there's going to be a couple of scenarios, obviously, at play in tonight's game and what's going on with the Mexican national team and South Korea, but both sides, are looking for the win. If they draw, things look good for both sides. But, for example, Mexico, to win Group A, South Africa has to win or draw against Czechia. And Korea, to win Group A, they need a win today. And then Czechia needs to beat South Africa or draw against them. So already, it's already starting, guys, the phasing out of the teams that are going to be contenders and the ones that are just happy to be part of the atmosphere.
Good insight from Adrian Garcia Marquez. Again, he calls matches for SDFC. He's with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. So we've touched a little bit on Team Mexico and Team USA. From the American perspective, do the expectations change for you, considering how impressive they were in that win over Paraguay?
You know what? No, because the expectations were already high. They need to show it, and they did. And I think that, to their credit, right, they've handled the pressure quite well. They've responded. And they showed up. Pochettino has a master plan. We saw it at work. And now it's just about the player, the individual. And you saw it, with Gio coming in and dropping in that, the Trivela. It just goes to show you that all you need is a spark of confidence, and then you go on a run. And if it happens for a player, it happens for a team. I think the United States have that kind of a flow going where they have the right mentality. The vibes are good. The team is united. You could see the way that they're playing, that it's all coming together at the right time. Now, tomorrow, you're going to be in that Soundgarden it's just going to be absolutely beautiful there in Seattle. And you're facing Australia. Australia is a very tough side. They play, you generally see them be more defensive-minded. Sometimes you see them more roll with the five at the back and then kind of push forward and then pounce on your mistakes. But make no mistake, they are going to make life difficult on you because I was talking to some friends earlier. They have the knife between their teeth at all times. Australia is not going to bow down. Australia is going to make it a dogfight, and this is where we're going to see the personality of the U.S. men's national team. But it's time to show it. It's time to prove it, and here's your stage.
Adrian Garcia Marquez joining us here, Schaefer and Sliwa Show, of course, one of the voices of SDFC. Adrian, your thoughts on just the rest of the World Cup, getting a chance to see some of the John and I mentioned it a couple days ago, to see Messi have a hat trick, to see Mbappe a couple hours before that have a couple of goals. Just what are some of the things that has stood out to you so far, and just your thoughts on the rest of the World Cup?
It's first Norway, guys. Keep an eye on Norway. I look at that squad. You guys remember Conan the Barbarian? Remember that music? Dun, 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 dun. It just seems like, man, they are coming. They're thundering. Their fans are on fire. And that team is going to be a force to reckon with. You mentioned Messi, and you look at Messi and what Argentina are doing and what we saw out of Portugal yesterday. There's more of a connection getting Messi and Messi getting his guys involved. There was a disconnect with Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo playing the 9, a position not natural for him. So you could see that superstars, the two guys, the references in this World Cup playing in their 6th along with Memo Ochoa, with the focus being on Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi in this case. Messi already stepped up early. Ronaldo, there's work to do with Portugal, but I think Portugal's still going to be one of those teams that we're going to be talking about in the end. In fact, the Simpsons predicted Mexico-Portugal would be the 2026 World Cup
Let's
final.
Go. That's amazing.
So I don't mess with the Simpsons predictions, but you see Norway, you see Messi with what he's doing, not a surprise. But I think Norway, Netherlands, and obviously France, right? And I love how France just stepped it up in the second half, turned it up a notch, letting the world know they are definitely here to defend it all.
Adrian Garcia Marquez with us right now at Schaefer and Sliwa. All right, I'm asking you to make a prediction. Do you think either Team USA or Team Mexico makes it to the quarterfinal round?
I think, you know what? I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say both are going to make it to the quarterfinal. Wow. How about that? Let's go. For example, for Mexico, it's about adjustments already, right? So Cesar Montes gets that red card. So now Edson Alvarez is going to probably be playing at center back alongside Johan. And then you have Eric Lira and the emergence guys of players. You know, we've seen it with San Diego FC when a guy steps up and emerges and helps you just get to that next level. That's what Eric Lira has done for the Mexican national team. So now you could leave him in the engine room. You could it's an Alvarez back. Maybe we sneak in Gil Mora into the midfield today. A lot more shiftiness, creativity, and clarity from the middle of the field, pushing it forward to Raul Jimenez, who's got 46 goals and counting. And obviously with Julian Quiñones and the level that he's been playing at, Mexico's going to be a force to reckon with. They're going to put it all together. But today is the true test. How they react, how they play against South Korea is going to tell us a lot. And tomorrow, the U.S. men's national team can really send the message by dominating Australia as well.
AJ, do you like the new format, 48 countries? What have you made of the format so far?
You know what? I'm okay with the format. I'm okay with countries getting opportunities. It is the World Cup. It's every 4 years. So, yes, the more the merrier. But there's one adjustment I would like to see in the future maybe. And it would be like if your country has won a World Cup, right, you should automatically be birthed into the World Cup. I just think like a World Cup, it's kind of remember the outsiders, right? A rumble ain't a rumble if it's a rumble without me, where Dallas Winston comes in at the end. I don't think a rumble is a rumble, a World Cup without Italy, guys, and countries like that, Denmark. You know, I obviously Denmark hasn't, but I just like to see Italy, the teams, if anything, just give them that place in history that if you've conquered a World Cup, you're an automatic berth to all of them.
Adrian, great stuff. We are looking forward to tonight. We're excited to hear you back on the call, of course, for SDFC when the quote-unquote second half gets underway in a few weeks as well.
Does he know we're going to Monterrey,
Yeah, we're
Mexico?
going. By the way, we're going. Any tips for us? We're literally going to Monterrey tomorrow. From Tijuana. We're going to see Japan and Tunisia just randomly
to us,
Saturday
Adrian.
night. Is there anything we need to know about it?
So you're going to Monterrey itself?
We are.
Yes.
We are tomorrow.
Oh, okay. First and foremost, you're going to get to see, people think it's AI. It's not. El Cerro de la Silla. You've seen the mountain right behind the
Incredible.
stadium. One of the most beautiful backdrops in all of sports. So the vibe itself, guys, El Norte Caliente, you guys are going to have a great time.
Let's
Just
go.
roll up with everybody. You see somebody with a Monterrey jersey, say, hey, man, I'm from San Diego. Show me the way. Take me to the beef. Take me to the carne and the cold cerveza, papa. And they'll take care of you from there. Trust me, Monterrey are good people. Monterrey are good people.
We'll play that audio.
Adrian.
We'll play that audio
You
for
are the
people
man.
we meet in Monterey. Adrian, great catching up with you. Enjoy the matches this weekend, and thanks for doing it.
All right, guys. Anytime. All the best.
We're going to set the scene on the other side. That
Let's
was
go.
Adrian Garcia Marquez. We are in Chula Vista at Memorial Park. Darnay Tripp joins us live at 5 p.m. Darren Smith at 5:15. Listen to Mexico, South Korea right here on 760 at 5:30. Watch party underway at Memorial Park. Stay with us on Schaefer and Sliwa. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Vibes are high here in Chula Vista, Memorial Park, Schaefer and Sliwa. Dom from our sales team has brought us pizza.
Yeah, he's not messing around.
He said he went 2 blocks down. So there's this Chula Vista watch party. It's an incredible scene. You need to make your way down. But he said he went 2 blocks down and he picked up this large pie that's spectacular. So we're eating it at the break.
It's a nice.
Are you a
nice
cheese pizza guy, or are you more of a throw
slice.
some meat on top?
No, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm completely okay with that.
It's gotten very loud, by the way.
There we go. Can't open it. There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm good. Listen, just a nice traditional cheese pizza. I mean, maybe it's not my top choice, but I love a traditional cheese pizza.
What would be your top choice?
I'm gonna throw some sausage on there. Probably some green peppers, maybe some olives as well. I'm a fan of red onions. Put a few things on there.
Yeah, I like that. I like some vegetables on my
I'm
pizza.
A fan of that.
All right, Darnay Tripp's going to join us at 5 p.m. We'll talk more about the Padres and the state of Team USA and Team Mexico in the World Cup.
You're a kale guy. You love kale on your pizza.
I actually have a T-shirt that I wear occasionally that just says the word kale, and I'm not kidding. I might bring it to Mexico.
Don't bring it to Mexico. Yeah,
why not? Like kale in Mexico?
I just don't think you need to bring it to Mexico. Like, you can have a kale shirt, keep it in your States. Actually, don't wear it outside of your home. Just keep it inside the home. Maybe even keep it just like in the bedroom area.
What are you bringing, by the way, on this trip? Like, are you bringing like a tuxedo, or are you bringing like 6 different pairs of shoes?
I'm bringing a blender, a 6-foot table, 3 avocados, 3 avocados, and then a screwdriver set.
Okay,
that's what I'm bringing.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it. That's all I need.
All right.
I'm gonna pack so light. Just a couple simple things. I'll tell you what's coming with us: our Mexico jerseys.
Yeah, rocking Mexico jerseys. Absolutely,
that's coming with us. I'm gonna keep it simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bring it even. I'll probably bring an iPad. You know.
What are you gonna do with an iPad?
Just watch. It's a 2-hour and 45-minute flight. Download some stuff on there and then watch some stuff.
So you don't think we'll have internet on the flight to watch Team USA?
I don't think so.
Really?
Or even if we do, it's going to be choppy.
Right. You know what? I might be out on the trip now that Team USA is playing at the same time.
How about that timing?
Maybe
why are they playing at noon?
I guess because it's a holiday, maybe, with it being Juneteenth. Because otherwise, it would be surprising.
Don't you want a Friday at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, I agree.
Don't you want a Saturday at 5?
Yeah.
Even on a Sunday, I was a little surprised that they chose that time.
By the way, it's very loud out here.
No, it's not. I don't hear anything.
Where I am, it's very loud.
It's very loud.
Yeah, it's very loud, but it's a really cool scene. They've got the World Cup viewing
party
underway here in Chula Vista. And again, you can hear this match tonight. Mexico and South Korea coming up at 5:30 on 760. You can listen to Team USA tomorrow as well at 11:30 a.m. pre-match coverage. And that match will get underway at noon tomorrow. Okay, Darren's going to join us coming up at 5:15. What a week, by the way, for Darren Smith. Goes to San Antonio. His Knicks win the NBA Finals.
This dude went to Game 5. Think about that for a second.
I thought maybe he'd be at the parade, to be honest with you, today.
Yeah.
When I texted him yesterday, I'm like, maybe he's en route to the parade.
And you know what? He already won. Like, whatever that parade offers is 15% of what he got to experience in Game 5.
Do you think he's going to be as critical as Jalen Brunson was of the haters? Is he going to just, like, mic drop? Be like a lot of people doubted the Knicks.
I don't think he will.
No. I mean, he's a lifelong Knicks fan. Imagine what that's been like for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a lot of lows.
And a real Knicks fan. It is kind of funny. I don't know if you saw some of the footage, everything from New York these last couple of days.
Are all those people Knicks fans that are there? The people at the parade?
Probably a good 60% of them. It's a good amount. It's a good amount.
Yeah, it's a good amount, I guess. Yeah.
Plus, you also got who was it? I think Alicia Keys was performing.
Saw that.
Alicia Keys, by the way, great, phenomenal. San Diego has made her roots here in San Diego, so phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there was an event here within the last month or two. I think it was a block party Chula Vista puts on. I don't know all the details. She just straight up showed up and was performing for everybody.
Keys did?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man.
She's freaking awesome.
In the 9 years I've been a part of sports stations in San Diego with iHeart, I don't recall, and maybe this is recency bias, I don't recall anything as unique as this. You did mention the 2024 playoffs. We were broadcasting downtown, and that was a really cool atmosphere, maybe similar to this. But this is really unique, what we're experiencing today with the Mexican flags and the Mexican fans and all the jerseys and all the festive community feel of what's playing out here in Chula Vista today. Really is special.
Yeah, this is, like I said, it's one of the more unique San Diego sporting events that I've been to. And granted, I know it's a Mexico game, but this is how the World Cup should be. And this is it's once every 4 years. You got both the United States and Mexico that looked really good in their first match. Why not have this kind of a vibe? I love I love and this is a perfect example of San Diego. Like, it is so multicultural, and you got so many different types of people that are here. You got so many people from different parts of the world. But for tonight, we're all rooting for Mexico.
Can I give a shout out to Team Canada playing at home for the first time?
They're balling.
They
too,
are
aren't they?
going to be Qatar today for their first ever World Cup match win. They're coming off a tie in their opener this year.
Wow.
They've never beaten anyone. This is their third World Cup, and they're well on their way, winning 5-0 in Vancouver this afternoon. So Team Canada
now
on its way to its first ever win.
What happened to Qatar? How many guys they got out there or something like that? They got two guys already red cards.
Play with 9. They've had multiple red cards.
Play with 9. Clean game from Qatar.
No, not really. The opposite of that. All right. I can't even hear myself right now, to be honest with you.
I can hear you.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
And I can hear you a little bit. All right. Darnay Trip is in Coronado this afternoon because there's a NASCAR race going on this weekend in Coronado for Father's Day.
If we were here, would you have gone?
I went to a NASCAR race for my bachelor party.
Okay.
In South Carolina.
Oh, it's awesome.
And
but this one,
I'm
in Coronado,
good.
that's special.
I'm good with it.
You don't need any more?
No, it was very loud. Speaking of loud, I had the what's it called? Earplugs in, and it was a cool experience. I'm sure it's going to be really unique in Coronado this weekend. But would you have gone this weekend to Coronado?
Yeah, I mean,
are you a NASCAR guy?
I'm not a NASCAR guy, but that's such a unique event, and I think that would be awesome. I think I've been to one NASCAR race. Jimmy Johnson, of course, from El Cajon, Granite Hills High School, won in Fontana. That's the only NASCAR race that I've been to, but obviously this is such a unique event in Coronado.
We're going to be broadcasting until 5:30.
Yeah.
Darnay Tripp will join us on the other side. We'll talk about this World Cup and the San Diego Padres enjoying an off day before opening a series with the Rangers. And then Darren Smith will join us live at 5:15 as we get you ready for Team Mexico and South Korea at 6 p.m. tonight with pre-match coverage at 5:30 on San Diego Sports 760. Stay with us on Schaefer and Sliwa. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer again for my friends at the all-new Humboldt Casino Resort, the Players Place. And speaking of watch parties for the World Cup, you can get to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub this summer and catch every match on the big screen at Tony Gwynn's during their World Cup watch parties, where you can enjoy game day specials, great food, cold drinks, and an electric atmosphere for every match. Grab your crew, experience all the action with Humboldt. While you're there, make sure to check out their hotel and spa, where you can experience elevated luxury with a refined hotel stay. They have rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Humboldt Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. And now you can take your stay to the next level with exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. Make sure to enjoy all the dining options while you're there, including Humboldt 23 with their lobster buffet every day. You can enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations. Start your morning with the new signature breakfast buffet Monday through Friday, 8 to 10:30 a.m. with made-to-order omelets, fresh fruit, and sweet and savory favorites at the all-new Humboldt Casino Resort, the Players Place.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. The Padres are in Texas getting set for their weekend series against the Rangers tomorrow night. So they have an off day today. We have some finals in the World Cup earlier today. Chechnya and South Africa tied at 1 apiece. Switzerland defeated Bosnia 4-1. And right now, Canada is all over Qatar 6-0. And coming up here on San Diego Sports 760 at 5:30, you can hear pre-match coverage of Mexico's game against South Korea right here on San Diego Sports 760. Trouble sleeping lately? Upgrade to great sleep you deserve at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Choose from a curated selection of top brands and let their sleep experts help you narrow it down. They make sleep easy.
All right, Team Mexico on 760 coming up with pre-match coverage at 5:30, and Darnay Tripp with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. What a weekend it is here in San Diego. You should see this scene, Darnay.
Darnay, where are you, man?
Well, I know you've been covering the action, the NASCAR race in Coronado during parts of today. I know that's coming up this weekend. You can only imagine, Darnay, the scene with Team Mexico about to play. We're broadcasting in Chula Vista. It is a scene here in Chula. You might have to make your way down tonight, dude.
I would like to. I mean, it sounds like an incredible time. I can only imagine. And all quiet here on Coronado. There's definitely some activity, but nothing like what it's going to be tomorrow and then Saturday and certainly Sunday. And obviously nothing like the fanfare and the excitement that you guys are enjoying now. So, yeah, I mean, a really fun weekend, everything that's going on. You know, we enjoy covering the Padres and talking about them, but especially given the way that they've been playing, it's nice to have a couple distractions this time of year.
Yeah, everybody take a quick little break here. Darnay, let me just, we got this Mexico-South Korea game coming up at 6 o'clock. So let me kind of start off there. Your thoughts on Mexico's first game, your thoughts about their matchup tonight against South Korea.
Well, look, I think, you know, you just want to get off to a good start, and I'm not going to try and do my best Darren Smith impersonation here and give you an in-depth breakdown of Mexico, South Korea. But look, obviously a huge match, and I think, you know, similar to the United States, some relief seeing Mexico, you know, from Mexico's fans, seeing the way that they started the tournament, scoring goals, getting out, getting the win early, and, you know, whatever nerves and uncertainty that you have carrying into it, you know, the anxiety of a World Cup and wanting to perform, you know, a performance like that, a performance like we saw from the United States alleviates that. And now as the competition picks up and these matches get a little bit more important, you know, how do you continue to build on that?
Darnay Tripp from NBC7 with us right now on San Diego Sports 760 and Schaefer and Sliwa. In your wildest dreams, did you envision the U.S. opening match against Paraguay playing out in the manner in which it did last week?
No, I mean, I don't think anybody could have. I think we were all kind of stunned. You know, I think if you turn back the clock a couple years and imagine what, like, this, again, quote unquote, golden generation can do with the World Cup at home, you think, okay, maybe that's a possibility. But I think the last couple years have kind of dampened our expectations a little bit because it's been a little bit, or maybe a lot of bit, underwhelming. And the lead up matches, you know, last month, I think offered some encouragement. But the way they came out and just blew the doors off Paraguay, kind of controlling the match, being aggressive, creating opportunities, and kind of letting the talent that is on this club, that is on this roster show. Obviously, the finishing ability was tremendous, and I don't think you could have imagined a better start than what we saw last Friday.
Darnay Tripp taking some time to join us here, NBC7, of course, Schaefer and Sliwa show. Darnay, so with that in mind, you know, you look back to last week's game, and then tomorrow, USA plays Australia. It's, I think, a noon start. Does your expectations now change for tomorrow's game based on what you saw in the first game?
I think they have to a degree, right? You know, especially with it being the first. I think, you know, people are also kind of quick to point out, you know, this is Paraguay that we're talking about. This is a club, that was ranked outside of the top 40. Australia, closer to the United States in that respect. Obviously, they showed well winning their first match. But I think you have to go into it with kind of different expectations, heightened expectations because of what we saw in that first match. And I think that's the fun of it, right? To get like maybe a little bit out over our skis a little bit, to get excited, to really feel like, okay, maybe this is a team that can do something, that can get to a knockout round, hopefully win a match or two once you get to that stage, and then just kind of see where it goes. And we had Tyler Heaps on, Sports Night in San Diego last Sunday, and he was like, look, it's a knockout tournament. Anything can happen. That's the beauty of the World Cup. Just like what we see with the NCAA tournament, it's like there's going to be upsets, there's going to be surprises, and I think we would all love it, given how rare these opportunities are, and how at times frustrating the lead up has been for the United States, for them to be kind of one of the big surprises of this tournament at home.
All right, I hate to do it, but I want to switch gears to the Padres. Darnay Tripp, NBC7 with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. Do you have hope that the offense can turn around the first half of their season, which has been so abysmal, where they basically rank last in a number of offensive categories? Can that be fixed or changed in the second half, in your opinion?
I think so. To what degree, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I see a top 10 offense showing up at some point, could they be top 15, top 20? And with their bullpen and with their pitching staff, would that be enough for them to, secure a wild card spot? I would think so.
Yep.
And as you guys have discussed, and as everybody's discussed, like, it's been such an abysmal start for their stars. Now, to Fernando Tatis Jr.'s credit, you go back a month and he's had a pretty solid month offensively of baseball. A couple home runs, obviously not as many as you would expect from Fernando Tatis, but he's moving in the right direction. Hopefully some of what you're seeing from Manny continues to show up, same for Merrill. And, they've had some injuries too, like even Miguel Andujar being gone for a little bit. Like, I think that's significant. I think obviously Samad Taylor has brought a really, kind of important, factor, some intangibles or maybe tangibles for this club with his speed and willingness to drop a bunt and kind of do whatever, the energy he's brought to the table. So I think, it's so hard because like Monday and Tuesday was terrible. They looked awful, but you win back-to-back series and they look pretty good against Wednesday. So I'm still naive enough to believe that maybe there's a few ticks up they can go in the second half, and hopefully that'll be enough for this to be a playoff team.
Darnay, do you feel like we know what the Padres are? I mean, do you feel like you have a good pulse of their identity? I know we're all looking at this team, and every single day it's like a wave of emotion, but you feel like you know who they are?
Man, that's a great question. And I guess the fear is yes, because they've shown it to us for how many games now?
Absolutely. Sure.
And, I guess you can only ask that question so many times before you're like, well, this is just sort of what it is. But I also think we were kind of having those conversations last year to a degree. And, some savvy moves at the trade deadline, O'Hearn, Laureano doesn't get hurt. Maybe they win that series in Chicago. So that's, I guess, one of the good things is like things can change. There is still an opportunity for this club to evolve a bit at the deadline. Obviously, they have less and less to use at the deadline every year. But I think, there's still some hope. And again, going back to Samad Taylor, like, how much has he kind of caused the identity to evolve a little bit? I think that's part of it as well. And, hopefully we'll learn some encouraging things in the weeks ahead.
Final one for me, Darnay, is just what is the scene going to be like for the NASCAR event at the Naval Base at Coronado this Sunday? I know it's a weekend-long event, but what are the sights and the scenes? What's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like this weekend at Coronado?
I wish we could do this on FaceTime because I'm literally walking along Pit Road right now. And I have logged some mileage. I mean, it's really cool. I'm walking. Wow. I think there's the start-finish line right down there. And I'm looking at the USS Carl Vinson and the San Diego skyline behind it. And from like the main grandstands, I believe along the start-finish. If you are going, wear the most comfortable shoes imaginable. Obviously, come prepared for the sun and hydrate and all that, because I've been doing a lot of walking today, and I'm really curious what it's going to look like once tomorrow night and Saturday and Sunday roll around. It's going to be wild, but I think it's going to be really, really cool as well. I can't wait to see it kind of in full force, because it's nuts, and it's not like anything we've ever seen before here in San Diego, at least.
Darnay, we wish we could FaceTime you as well, because if you saw the scene here, I think we both have a good vibe for what's happening on both ends.
Let's trade for a few minutes.
There you go.
That sounds good. Darnay, appreciate you doing it. We know it's busy, and look forward to doing it again soon, but thanks for hopping on, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, great stuff from Darnay Tripp at NBC7. Let's take a timeout because Darren Smith will join us. On the other side, we're on the air until 5:30 because Mexico begins against South Korea with pre-match coverage on 760 at 5:30. We broadcast live from Chula Vista. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, get to Chula Vista Memorial Park. Team Mexico, South Korea coming up at 6. You can hear it on 760, but a watch party underway. It is quite the scene this afternoon in Chula Vista. We're with you for another 15 minutes. We are fortunate enough right now to be joined by Darren Smith. Of course, you hear him on SDFC. He's been a very busy man over the last few weeks, World Cup and his Knicks. Let's start there, Darren. We can't start a conversation with you without talking about your Knicks. We talked to you last Friday from Little Italy. You went to San Antonio. You were in the building for a Knicks clincher for the first time since 1973. Man. You got to still be like on a cloud nine. What was that like? And thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I'm still on a cloud nine. I'm trying to decide if I'm just in this afterglow or if I've really had this life-changing experience where now I view everything differently, and now I'm viewing how the Padres are considered differently and how I talk about them. So, it's been an emotional couple of days for sure. This was the absolute peak of my sports fandom. There's no doubt about that. There's never been a better day in my life as a fan of the teams that I am a fan of. And it is one of those feelings that I hope everybody gets to experience, whatever team it is, whatever sport it is, whatever it is that matters to you most. I hope someday, even if it's not a 53-year drought, that you get to experience what it was that we got to experience on Saturday night. And then everything that followed with it, even again, some tears this morning watching the parade. So it was everything I thought it would be and more.
All right, I got one quick follow-up to that. Give us what was the vibe on Saturday like? Was it a ton of Knicks fans? I mean, the nervousness of the game, again down double digits. Again, come fourth quarter, they kind of start taking over. How long do you get to sit in the stadium when they're doing the trophy presentation? Like, what was – give us the vibe of the actual game.
Yeah, I think there was I would say it was probably a little less than 50-50, right? So let's call it about 60-40.
Okay.
You can clearly hear – I mean, I've watched some of the replays. I haven't watched the whole game back, but you can clearly hear – how many Knicks fans were in the building. I think a lot of the Knicks fans, including me, they were nervous, for obvious reasons. It's Game 5 of the NBA Finals, but also because, this was a small fortune that a lot of us spent to get there. And, it was totally worth it. We'll probably take it to the grave how much money I've actually spent, but I think there was a little bit of that. There is a little bit of like, okay, well, we're all here now. Is this bet that we've all made, is it going to be worth it? And, there was tension because they're facing elimination, and you start letting your mind go, well, if you lose here and then somehow they win 6, So there's all of that. But I will say there was so much joy, just real quick. Like, we got there, bumped into a couple of Knicks fans, asked if they were doing anything before the game. They say they were going to some bar. We're like, okay, where is this bar? We go. The whole place was packed. And somebody came up with the idea. Somebody came up with, let's start a WhatsApp chat for all the Knicks fans that have traveled to this game. And I will tell you, I have been on this chat pretty much since Saturday. People that I don't know if I've met them. I don't know if we were in the same hotel, the same section where we were. And we're still just sharing pictures, and everybody's going further broke to buy more merchandise. So they let us stay in for a while. We got to see the whole trophy presentation. A lot of chaos outside of the arena, real unfortunate stuff that happened in the streets. But just in terms of an overall experience, I mean, 10 out of 10. And, again, like I said, I feel like a different person today.
We have to ask you about Team USA and also Team Mexico. We will in a moment. Darren Smith is with us right now. This has been a conversation we've had a lot over the last month on Schaefer and Sliwa. What's your opinion as a Knicks fan, having watched the 5-game series against the Spurs? What's your opinion on Victor Wembanyama as a player? What's it been like as a fan to watch how that series played out against Wemby?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that I've completely 180'd on him. It was, I think, a bit disappointing. The whole handshake thing, I think, can be a bit overrated as a conversation. But I will say that Jalen Brunson was clearly going to try to shake his hands. And in fair play, maybe Victor Wembanyama didn't see it. And he said, hey, listen, this is their moment.
Yep.
But I don't know. I thought some of the stuff that happened during the series for him, some of the way he played, there was an obvious flagrant foul that wasn't called in real time where Brunson rolls his ankle. So I think that there's, I still think he's a great player. I still think he's box office. I still think he's going to win a ton in this league. I did want to come out of the series with a healthy respect for him. I do as a player. He's got a ways to go. But I do feel like he, and they in particular, I'm not sure that they walked away from that series. They're not convinced that the better team won. I'm not saying that they should be gracious losers, not my point. But, I think the better team in that series won, and it would be okay to acknowledge that. They don't seem to want to do it. So I don't know.
That's fair.
It's not my primary concern. I don't really care, but I still think he's really good for the league, and I still think he's a really good player.
Darren Smith joining us here, Schaefer and Sliwa Show. ID, let me. I'll let you close it out with probably a question about tonight's game. Let me jump forward to tomorrow's game, USA Australia. How do you view tomorrow's game based on how well the United States played in their first game? Do you look at tomorrow's game any differently, or is this what they did in that first match you expected, and you're only expecting for them to ride that momentum?
Yeah, I mean they blew me away with how they played in the game against Paraguay. I think I was on with you guys on Friday, and I said I think it's going to be difficult. The U.S. struggles with these kind of teams that want to be defensive. And the U.S. just completely battered them. They just totally had their head spinning. So I like that. And, I think one of the big differences from this cycle, from the previous cycle to this cycle is, Greg Berhalter, who was the then head coach, played it safe. He was like, well, if we pick up a point here and let's just not try to lose. Let's just not lose the game. Let's get out of the group. And if we get out of the group and here it just seems like the head coach and the players are like, yo, we're going for it. Foot on the gas. All gas, no break. Not be stupid, but we're going to come out flying from the opening whistle. And I like that. I think you can say, and you can expect a lot of times that you would play a little conservatively tomorrow against Australia, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Listen, Mauricio Pochettino, the head coach, doesn't have a future with the U.S. The second this tournament's over, he's gone. So he can just say, I'm going to be aggressive. I want my team to be aggressive. I want them to take on that kind of personality. And I love that. I think that was a big deal. I think that was part of the reason. Listen, Paraguay is better than that. I promise you Paraguay is better than that. That's a really, really good result for the U.S. They did things historically that we've never seen them do before. And I think they like that. I think they have their taste in their mouth. I think that they sense that they win tomorrow. And for all intents and purposes, they're probably going to go ahead and win the group. So, I think they're going to, not be safe. I think they're going to be aggressive and go out there and try to do what it was that they did on Friday night at SoFi Stadium.
Finally, Darren, is again, we're turning this over to pre-match coverage of Mexico-South Korea at 5:30. Tell us what you expect to see tonight. Mexico coming off that win over South Africa. They get South Korea, a winner in their first match. What are your expectations for tonight with Team Mexico in Guadalajara?
Well, I'm sure there is a ton of energy where you guys are. I just left Fit Social Mission Beach, which is just filled with people wearing green jerseys. Listen, they won 2-0. Weren't going to give it back, Mexico. But even their head coach said, we got to be better. This is a game that we should have won 4-0. So, listen, check the box. Won the first game in a World Cup for the first time ever. But, guys, I'm sure Adrian probably said this earlier. This game tonight, the winner, if there is one, is the first team to qualify for the knockouts. I mean, that's an incredible thing to think about, the circumstances. So it could be South Korea, but if it's Mexico, then you will guarantee you're winning the group, you're into the knockout round. That first knockout match will be in Mexico City, and if you win that, the second knockout match will be in Mexico City.
Wow.
So, the stakes are unbelievable tonight for Mexico. Now, the same is true for South Korea. South Korea wins, they're going to win the group. They become the first team to qualify for the knockout round. But Mexico, home soil, not satisfied with what it was they did against South Africa. That is massive tonight to think about this opportunity for Mexico to stay on home soil for the first round at least, and potentially the second knockout round of the World Cup.
Wow. That is amazing perspective and insight. And the idea of playing in Mexico City at Azteca for Team Mexico is incredible to envision. We'll see if they can get it done here tonight. Darren, enjoy this entire thing.
A place they've never lost, by the way. A place that they've never lost. They're in Guadalajara tonight, but they've never lost a World Cup match at the Azteca. 4 wins, 2 draws. So and 5 wins now because they won the opening match. So yeah, I mean it's just it's the most impactful game of the tournament so far.
Darren, enjoy the summer as a Knicks fan and watching this tournament play out as well. We'll catch up with you again in the next week or so. Thanks for doing it, man.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Great stuff from Darren Smith.
Sounds like he just won a championship. That's what he sounds like.
Al, this is fun, man. We'll see you in Monterey.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
pick you up tomorrow morning.
There you go.
Mike Usher, thank you. Brent Sperry, thank you. Our entire iHeart team. Get to Chula
Viva
Vista.
Mexico.
Go Mexico tonight.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Against South Korea.
Let's
see if Mexico can win it here tonight. You can listen to the match on the other side. This has been Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeart Radio app.